Welcome to the inaugural season of Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball, presented by Active Family Chiropractic, Edward Jones, Gresham Ford, Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, the Gresham Police Officers Association, Lucky Pint, Metro East Web Academy, Northwest Accounting Partners, Olympic Gym, Riverview Community Bank, and State Farm. And now it's time for your Gresham Grey Wolves pregame show.
Hello and welcome into the Gresham Grey Wolves pregame show here at Goss Stadium at Oregon State University, home of the Beavers and now home to your Gresham Grey Wolves. They'll be taking on the Corvallis Knights in game one of a three-game series here. And Evan Giddings in the booth alongside Nick Winstead. And Nick, at least over the last couple of games, you got to go out to the Bend series. That's something that we're definitely going to want to talk about during this pregame show. Got two victories in game one and game two of the series. Game three didn't go as well. In fact, a 10-run rally by the Bend Elks to topple the Gresham Grey Wolves as they had a 9-run lead early. So maybe you can take us a little bit through each of the games and tell us, and then conclude essentially with what went wrong there in game three.
Well, looking back at game one against Gresham, it was really a pitcher's duel through and through. Riley Newman on the mound for the Elks. He was looking fantastic against the Grey Wolves. He struck out 6 in the first 9 batters he saw. And Chris Brown for the Grey Wolves against the Elks wasn't being necessarily as flashy with his pitching, really pitching more to contact than for strikeouts, but he was doing a very excellent job as well, although the Elks did grab 1 run in the third. That was the only run of the game until the top of the 6th when Gresham was able to plate 3 runs of their own, a 2-run single from Jack Johnson to put the Grey Wolves ahead, and Will Matheson put another 2-out single up the middle, and that brought in 1 more run, and that was the scoring for the game, 3-1. It was pitching through and through. Chris Brown, Jeremy Smith, and Michael Clark all combined for a really excellent performance against Bend in that game. After a series where so many runs were scored against the Grey Wolves, it was great to be able to see Gresham lock things down on the mound. You move to a game 2 following that 3-1 victory, and looked as if it was going to be a repeat of game 1, another pitcher's duel really through 4 innings. After the 4th, each team had exchanged 1 run in that 4th inning, and then came around the 6th. The top of the 6th, the Grey Wolves plated 5 runs, a 3-run home run from Drew Curtis. His first home run of the year really got that inning rolling, and the Grey Wolves end up sending 9 batters to the plate in that inning, getting 5 runs, and they end up blanking Bend in the bottom half of that inning. You go to the 7th, and they plate 1 more to make it a 7-1 lead going into the bottom of the 7th, a 6-run advantage, but that evaporates very quickly. A 4-run inning for the Elks, and they get themselves right back into the game, and they tack on 2 more in the top of the 8th after Gresham had loaded the bases. They were unable to take advantage, and that ended up looming large as Bend tied the game at 7. And going into the top of the 9th, they really required a big inning, and they ended up getting it. Drew Curtis once again coming up huge, a leadoff double to left center field, and in what was a great game for him, 4 for 5, a double, a 3-run home run. And Curtis Perrin put runners on the corners after he bunt for hit, and a sac fly from Ben Clanky ended up securing the win 8-7, and Michael Clark came in again and got another save. But then you look at game 3, that 10-9 loss, as you mentioned, and 9 runs in the first 3 innings. It looks as if the Grey Wolves are going to cruise to a sweep, their first since the first series of the second half, and then just things start to fall apart. The Elks yet again start chipping away at the lead, and it had started in the bottom of the 4th, 2-run home run from Jared Gonzalez and a 2-run inside the park home run from Derek Chapman, and unfortunately just the Grey Wolves couldn't get any offense going after that 3rd inning and end up giving it away in the bottom of the 9th, a walk-off victory for the Elks, and really it was a tale of 2 games in that series, game 1 and then really game 2 extending into game 3, where the offense got going but then just couldn't keep it going, and the Elks just worked their way back in. And unfortunately, the pressure relies on the bullpen in those games. You've given a big lead to your pitching staff and just unable to continue, and that shows a lot of fatigue throughout this West Coast League season, unfortunately, all coming to a point, at least in that series, and they're looking to bounce back here against the Knights.
And they'll certainly need to, coming into the game at 1.5 below the Yakima Valley Pippins in the South Division in the West Coast League. The Gray Wolves certainly control their own destiny to this point, but it's going to be an uphill battle. Now, fortunately for them, they have 3 games against Corvallis, 3 more against Bend Elks back at home starting on August 5th. However, Yakima Valley is going to be going up against a couple of tough teams down the stretch. They got Victoria as well as Kelowna, and I believe they just finished up a series with Cowlitz. So playing a couple of tough teams here in the WCL, and that will hopefully allow the Gray Wolves to maybe gain some ground because they're going to have to beat them outright. Of course, Yakima Valley holding the tiebreaker in overall record here in the second half, so the Gray Wolves don't have that going for them. However, one thing that they have going for them, especially offensively, has been the performance of Mark Cardinale in the last week. Was just named the WCL Offensive Player of the Week on Monday. He extended his hit streak to 12 games throughout the week of July 25th through the 31st, and was the only batter in the West Coast League to hit above 500. He had an even 550 at the plate, as he is also the second Gray Wolf player to receive a weekly honor from the league. Jeff Mitchell Jr. did it early in June, as I believe, in fact, that was the second week of the West Coast League season. He was on fire back then, and now Cardinale able to get in the same sentence as him. So now we talked about a little bit about the playoff push and what it's going to take here for Gresham. Now, you yourself haven't necessarily seen the Corvallis Knights, but you know what they're about. They play good defense. They play really well on that side. And they also do a lot of good things offensively, but I think the strongest weapon that they hold is their pitching staff, because their hitters coming into play, at least in the last week, they're coming off a 5-game win streak, only hitting about 250. So what do you think that the Gray Wolves need to do to get back in the win column here tonight against a very good Corvallis Knights team?
Well, obviously, the cliche is take it one game at a time. You can't look too far forward or worry about the Pippins for that matter. And just keep your plate discipline that they had against the Elks in those first 3 innings yesterday, showing really good plate discipline, a 6-run top of the first with 6 walks. So obviously seeing pitches very well, and a couple of accomplished guys out on the mound for the Elks. As even at this point of the year, when I was mentioning those arms starting to get tired, showing the arm signs of fatigue, it was a couple of guys who just were not able to get the better of Gresham, and I think that's going to be really big, especially against a team that has really good pitching. You can't go up there looking necessarily to be getting a big hit every time, just a single here and a single there. You've seen that the Gray Wolves can score a lot of runs in a lot of different ways. They just can't push the issue.
And so that'll just about wrap it up here for the pregame show. Almost ready for National Anthem as lineup cards have been distributed. Also just about 5 minutes away from first pitch. So we'll be back with starting lineups and the beginning of this ball game here in the first game of a 3-game series between the Gresham Gray Wolves and the Corvallis Knights. Stick along with us. We'll be right back with you after this break.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Gray Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
If you are looking for an award-winning institution of higher education that is touching lives in many ways, look no further than Mount Hood Community College. For 50 years, MHCC has been an economic engine that brings hundreds of millions of dollars into our community, while also providing great educational services to area residents. No matter what you're interested in, MHCC has a place for you. To learn more, visit our website at mhcc.edu. Mount Hood Community College, transforming lives, building communities.
It's time to gear up. Visit the Gray Wolves team store during your next visit to Osland Field. Hats, hoodies, and shirts in different styles, colors, and logos to show your support of Gresham's team. We have a huge selection of Gray Wolves gear available online as well. Just visit GreshamGrayWolves.com to pick up your favorite gear and wear it to the next Gray Wolves game at Osland Field. That's the team store at GreshamGrayWolves.com. Gear up!
Turn a double play with your Gresham Gray Wolves by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner, contact the Gray Wolves at 503-428-5248. Again, that's 503-428-5248. Your partnership with the Gray Wolves will be a howl of a good time.
Pack the park at Osland Field. The Gray Wolves are hosting the Bend Elks from Friday, August 5th through Sunday, August 7th. Fans can get $5 general admission tickets or $7 reserved seats all series long for the last West Coast League regular season series of the year. Just send an email to Jerry at GreshamGrayWolves.com to receive your Pack the Park voucher to bring to the Osland Field gate. For more details, visit GreshamGrayWolves.com.
Live from Osland Field at Mount Hood Community College, this is Gresham Gray Wolves Baseball, presented by Active Family Chiropractic, Edward Jones, Gresham Ford, Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, the Gresham Police Officers Association, Lucky Pint, Metro East Web Academy, Northwest Accounting Partners, Olympic Gym, Riverview Community Bank, and State Farm. Gresham Gray Wolves Baseball starts now.
Hello and welcome into another edition of Gresham Gray Wolves Baseball here in Corvallis, Oregon at Goss Stadium on Coleman Field. The Oregon State Beavers field, the Gresham Gray Wolves will be taking on the Corvallis Knights in the first game of a three-game series here on the road. It'll be the last series for the Gresham Gray Wolves as they just finished up their last road trip up in Bend. They lost to the Elks in the last game of the series, but were able to take 2 out of 3 there. So looking to keep their playoffs hope alive as they come in with a 13-8 record, 1.5 games back behind the Yakima Valley Pippins in the South Division of the WCL. And the leadoff man for Gresham is coming to the plate here as we're just about ready for first pitch. And there it is, a fastball delivered low here, 1-0 here to Curtis Perrin, the leadoff man for the Gray Wolves. As the official start time, 6:40 on the dot. So he'll be opposing Cameron Bishop, that 6'4" tall left-hander for Corvallis, as he now buries another fastball low here, 2 balls and no strikes. So Curtis Perrin leading off, filling in for the injured shortstop, currently Dylan Doherty, who was icing his right arm before the ball game. Now this fastball misses too far inside, 3-0 here. As for the rest of the order for Gresham, Curtis Perrin will be followed by Jack Johnson hitting second, Connor Zickafoos batting third, Josh Adams in the cleanup hole. There's now the 3-0 pitch on the way. Fastball right down the heart, called for strike 1. Following Adams batting fifth, it'll be the center fielder Ryan Smith, followed by the left fielder Drew Curtis batting sixth. After him, it'll be the backstop Ben Klinke, followed by designated hitter Ty Wyatt getting his first start of the season. As now Perrin will have to step back in the box, was headed towards first base, but a late called strike there by the home plate umpire, Randy Knutz. And to round it out, Will Matheson will be batting ninth, and Spud Heideman, the right-hander, on the bump for Gresham, as now Perrin has rung up on an inside fastball. Strike 3 called over the inner portion of the plate, and a nice start there for Cameron Bishop, able to bounce back from a 3-0 count and record the strikeout look, and as Perrin goes down for the first out of the ball game. Defensively for the Knights in left field, it'll be Emilio Alcantar. In center field, Kyle Nobach. Cody Hawken over in right. Left to right on the infield, Michael Ferris, Andy Atwood, Matt Kelly, and Roman Garcia. And now the two-man Jack Johnson will step up and wave through a fastball right here. The count is 0-1. Zach Taylor will be behind the plate this evening for the Knights. And Cameron Bishop on the bump. As a big left-hander, now fires a fastball too far outside here, 1-1. Now Bishop coming into this game, making his seventh appearance, I should say, sixth start for the Knights in the 2016 summer season, a 1.33 earned run average. As the 1-1 on the way, high fly ball deep to left field. This one's carrying as Alcantar back on the track, and this one is gone. Jack Johnson with a first inning blast out to left field, and the Gray Wolves are on top 1-0. Just like that, Bishop coming into the game as one of the more dominant starting pitchers in the West Coast League as a whole. In fact, started the All-Star game for the South Division. But Jack Johnson with his third home run of the season, hopefully setting the tone here early on for Gresham. Ball certainly carrying here at Goss Stadium a little better than it does up in Gresham over at Osland Field, as now Zikafus will step in, and the third baseman will swing and foul this one back off the glove there of Taylor, 0-1. So pretty standard dimensions, about 330 down the right field and left field line. Kicks out to about 400 in center field. Some kind of tight gaps, and what I mean by that is not necessarily power alleys. It kind of just goes straight out towards center field and then cuts out. Is now a check swing here from Zikafus, and they will say that he did go around on the curveball in the dirt, and it's quickly 0-2 here to the Gresham third baseman. So Canute's behind home plate. It'll be Jim Courtney in the field. That's the two-man umpiring crew. Pretty standard here for the West Coast League. As the Corvallis Knights in their home Burgundy Reds, as this one swung on and missed, waved at, had no chance at that breaking ball. Hard curveball off the plate, bent right out of the strike zone, and a couple of strikeouts here already for Cameron Bishop. Like I mentioned, a left-hander, 230 pounds, going to be a junior here at University of California, Irvine. Played for the Knights in 2015 as well. Was a two-way player, and actually we got to look at Cameron Bishop not as a pitcher in the series up in Gresham, as he will now have another lefty-lefty matchup with Josh Adams. Probably has actually faced him a couple of times down in college competition, with Adams going to UC Santa Barbara. Bishop, a member of the Anteaters. However, so far this season has been dominant as he misses with a breaking ball low here, 1-1. A total of 27 innings so far, 36 strikeouts, and with a couple more at 38. Has only walked 9 and has only allowed 15 hits, as his batting average against at just 161. As now Adams takes a fastball on the outside edge, called strike 2. So 1-2 here in the first. Already up 1 run on the swing of a Jack Johnson solo shot out to left field. And a quick start for Gresham. That's exactly what head coach Justin Barkas wanted, is now this changeup too far inside. Bishop didn't know where that missed, but apparently low. The count even up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the Gray Wolves haven't really featured much power offensively so far this season. Just their 7th home run, or make that 8th of the year, as now Adams fouls this one back off the screen here. Count remains at 8 now after a 3-run blast a couple of nights ago off the bat of left fielder this evening, Drew Curtis. A 3-run blast in that game, the second game of the series. Adams last time out didn't fare too well against Corvallis, so kind of heated up over the course of the series. Had a total of only 1 hit, as now he'll take ball 4. Fastball just a bit off the corner outside, and a nice eye there from Josh Adams as he earns himself a 7-pitch at-bat walk. So with 2 outs, that'll extend the inning here for Ryan Smith, the center fielder. Haven't seen him too often, however, out there defensively. Has kind of been nursing a bum right shoulder. But a good sign to see Smith out there in the outfield. Have seen him almost every single game, pre and post, with ice on the right arm. And now Bishop will work from the stretch. The lefty kicks and fires. Fastball too far up and inside, ball 1. However, Smith certainly has been a prominent member of this offense for Gresham. And with the departure of Jeff Mitchell Jr. after the last home series in Kitsap, as now Smith takes a fastball in the inside corner, called strike 1. Doesn't agree with it, as he has a couple words with the home plate umpire, but nonetheless will even up the count at a ball and a strike. Now Smith average right on the precipice of 300, 295 through 47 games played, which is a team high. And now sends a soft ground ball right side. Second baseman Kelly comes in, fields it, throws on to first base in time to retire the side, but not before Gresham gets one off of one swing. Jack Johnson goes big fly out to left field, and the Gresham Gray Wolves have a 1-0 lead over the Corvallis Knights as we head to the home half of the first. So that's the score, 1-0. as we'll take a break here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live.
Try to double play with your Gresham Grey Wolves by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner, contact the Grey Wolves at 503-428-5248. Again, that's 503-428-5248. Your partnership with the Grey Wolves will be a howl of a good time.
Pack the park at Osland Field. The Grey Wolves are hosting the Bend Elks from Friday, August 5th through Sunday, August 7th. Fans can get $5 general admission tickets or $7 reserved seats all series long for the last West Coast League regular season series of the year. Just send an email to jerry@greshamgraywolves.com to receive your Pack the Park voucher to bring to the Osland Field gate. For more details, visit greshamgraywolves.com.
Follow your Gresham Grey Wolves on social media. The Grey Wolves are active on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Gresham G Wolves. Follow your favorite West Coast League baseball team at home, on the road, and in the community. Behind-the-scenes access, photos from the ballpark, video recaps, and more, all at your fingertips. That's at Gresham G Wolves on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
And so now we're set to begin the bottom of the first inning here at Goss Stadium on Coleman Field, right on the steps of Oregon State University, where the Grey Wolves are taking on the Corvallis Knights. Already up 1-0 here as we enter the bottom of the first. A solo shot in the top half of the inning for the shortstop, Jack Johnson, as now we'll get you the starting lineups here for the Corvallis Knights. Leading off and playing center field, it'll be Kyle Nobach, followed by the shortstop, Andy Atwood, hitting second. Roman Garcia in the 3-hole, also playing first base. Batting cleanup and doing the catching, Zach Taylor. Michael Ferris hitting fifth and playing third, as Kyle Nobach now prepares to step into the box against the right-hander Spud Heidemann. As for the rest of the order, batting seventh and DHing Andrew Reichenbach, followed by Matt Kelly, Cody Hawken, and Emilio Alcantar. As the first pitch on the way from Spud is a fastball on the outside corner, called strike one. So Spud Heidemann on the bump for Gresham, making his team-leading 8th start of the season. Has been a mainstay in the rotation for the entirety of the summer, him along with the left-hander Gabe Benavides, as he misses too far outside here with this pitch, 1-1. Those have been the two guys that have been there right from the beginning. All the way back to the first couple of games against Thurston County. That's when Spud had his first appearance. Non-league competition is now Nobach will send a fly ball down the right field line, but going to get out of play into the seats down there. Kind of some shallow foul territory on both sides, much similar to the Oakland Coliseum, O.Co Coliseum, to compare it to those who are wondering about kind of like major league stadiums and how you might think about how much foul territory is down each of these lines. However, now Nobach back in the box. Heidemann from the windup. Toes it from the first base side, now kicks and fires, and a changeup too far outside here. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now defensively for Gresham, left to right in the outfield, that'll be Drew Curtis, Ryan Smith, and Josh Adams. Left to right on the infield, Connor Zickafoos, Jack Johnson, Curtis Perrin, and Will Matheson, with Ben Klenke in the squad doing the catching. And of course, that right-hander Heidemann on the mound. Is now the 2-2 pitch on the way, and just got a piece of it, did Nobach, able to fight that one off. A breaking ball towards the outside part of the plate, and a nice pitch to spoil there by Nobach, who has been a tough out all year long. Now currently, him along with the second batter, Atwood, sit atop the WCL in multiple categories. Nobach himself is tied for second in batting average at .320. Runs scored with 30, as he now takes ball 3 here low. A breaking ball just ducked out of the strike zone to run the count full. And also sits atop the WCL, tied in second in triples. He's got 4 of those and is tied for second in that category. So now the payoff pitch on the way from Heidemann. Fastball inside corner, roped down the left field line, but foul. Just kicked back the bag there, as Zickafoos had to let that one go, and just a couple of inches to the right, Nobach might have had himself extra bases. Instead, just going to go for a long foul ball. So nonetheless, Nobach, a guy that in the first series that Gresham played against him, was certainly a spark plug at the top of the order, and really however he, along with Atwood, went, was kind of how the Knights tended to fare. There's now another payoff pitch on the way. Fought off again. This one over to the right side will provide a lucky souvenir for a fan. And a beautiful day here in Corvallis. Just a couple of clouds scattered across the sky, more out towards left field, around the area where we saw Jack Johnson go deep there in the top of the first as the Grey Wolves have a 1-0 lead. But besides that, completely blue skies. Great weather as this one roped into right center field, slicing away from Smith, but he's able to track that one down and make the catch. Now we know that the shoulder's been hanging him up in terms of his ability to make strong and accurate throws, but not affecting the legs whatsoever. And Ryan Smith, a great first jump off the bat, able to hawk that one down and rob Novak of extra bases. If he doesn't get to that ball, Adams was backing up the play, likely would have been there, but there's a possibility that that ball could have easily have split the gap, and with Novak's speed, could have found himself at the very least on second base. As now Atwood will step in, first pitch on the way, fastball low here, 1 ball, no strikes. Now I alluded to Novak, but Atwood himself is second in the WCL in stolen bases, got 18 swipe bags as he now takes a fastball too far inside here, 2-0. His 6th in batting average at .311. His 5th in hits, has 47 base knocks this season. Very impressive. And also tied for 5th in runs batted in. Has 24 RBIs as he now takes another fastball too far inside. That Heidemann 2-seam running just a bit too far in here in the second at-bat of his ball game. And of course, going up against Cameron Bishop, the big lefty for Corvallis. Spud is certainly going to have his work cut out for him here today. As now the 3-0. Fastball just a bit high above the letters there. Called ball 4 by Knutz. And a 4-pitch walk handed out by Spud. Now, that's something we definitely do not see too often. Coming into play, Heidemann had only walked 12 batters through 44 1/3 innings pitched. And he's making his 8th start, 9th appearance. Has a 4-1 record, which is best on the Grey Wolves. A 4.87 earned run average. Like I mentioned, those 12 walks over 44 1/3 innings pitched. Also 19 strikeouts as now he'll work out of the stretch and Roman Garcia will step in. Right-hand batter takes the first pitch breaking ball outside there. Gloved by Klenke. Backhanded very nicely. Now in addition to kind of the short foul territory, at least certainly up the sides in the outfield, kind of comes back and then goes out in the way that Fenway Park does. Very slim down that foul line as now this one tapped up the end of the bat towards the Grey Wolves dugout, fouled, and the count is evened up at 1-1. However, definitely a large backstop here, and with the padding, not one that's going to care him. So definitely any ball that gets past the catcher, unless someone gets a bad read or maybe doesn't see it off the turf, certainly going to have themselves at least 90 feet. So now Atwood, the lead at first base. Spiderman comes set, just at the letters. Now kicks and fires, fastball too far outside here. 2 balls and 1 strike. Now Corvallis rocking their burgundy jerseys. We didn't get to see those on the road when they came up to Gresham just a couple of weeks ago. A C across the right part of the chest in gold, tapered with a Nike sign, and black letters on the back, tapered in gold. Also the white pants, very, very classic look. A couple of high socks, couple of low. There's now a long hold from Spud. Finally 2-1 on the way, swing and miss. Runners on the move, throw down to second base, and it is not in time as Klenke's throw was a bit low there. Couldn't be scooped up by the second baseman, Perrin, as they might have had a chance to get Novak. A very speedy batter. We talked about Atwood's ability to steal bases with 18. Well, that's number 15 right there for Kyle Novak as he puts himself in scoring position here with 1 out. Now the pitch swung on and missed as it was a hit-and-run attempt. That's also something we're going to see a lot from Corvallis, their ability to execute, and really not afraid as Brooke Knight, the third base coach and head coach for the Corvallis Knights, to try and put something on, especially at the top of the order. Really wants to utilize his speed. So see how Heidemann is able to attack that. There's now the 2-2 on the way. Slider checked his swing to Garcia, but could not pull the trigger, as that'll go for ball 3. Garcia coming in, batting .280, 150 at-bats, which is second most on the team to just Atwood himself. Also second Atwood, of course, in games played, making his 41st appearance. Total of 42 hits so far, 14 runs scored. Second on the team in 20 RBIs. He says a soft ground ball over the shortstop Johnson. Comes in, throws on the run, and makes the catch over there by Matheson. So a 6-3 put out there has Garcia. And maybe most importantly, the soft ground ball to the left side does not allow the runner on second base, Atwood, to move up to third base. So now the catcher, Zach Taylor, will come to the plate. He's been one of the hotter hitters for Corvallis, and especially some nice production from the backstop, which you don't see too often, especially looking around the WCL. Not a lot of catchers have been able to not only do it defensively, as he now takes a fastball over the outside edge for strike one, perform defensively night in and night out, but then also carry a big stick. And I mean that literally, as Zach Taylor, quite a large and lumbering figure at the plate, a right-handed batter, keeps the hands low around the chest, wavering a bit from the right side, and now a swing. Soft ground ball over to the third base line, but will kick foul as the third base and head coach Brooke Knight will pick that one up, scoop it on up, throw it back in the dugout. It's count now 0-2. Now the Grey Wolves themselves rocking the away grays, and I actually haven't got a ton of chances to look at these. They're pretty sweet. They got the Grey Wolf across the chest in gold, tapered in black, with the stripes kind of peering up from the belt. All gray all around. As now the pitch on the way. High fly ball deep to center field, but playable there for Smith. He'll take a couple of steps back and to his right and make the catch to retire the side. So no runs on no hits, no errors, but one runner left on in scoring position as Spud leaves Atwood on second base. And we'll head to the second here at Goss Stadium. So it'll be Drew Curtis, Ben Clanky, and Ty Wyatt when we return here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live.
Bum, ba-da-dum, da-da-dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford, where I'll donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
And so now we'll come back here in the top of the second inning. Grey Wolves to the plate. They hold a 1-0 lead on one swing off of Jack Johnson. Home run, a solo shot out to left field. That'll put him ahead as now Drew Curtis will step to the plate. Right-hander against the large left-hander Cameron Bishop. First pitch on the way from him is a backdoor slider in the dirt, waved on and missed by Curtis, and it's 0-1. Now Curtis over the season hasn't necessarily had the average I'm sure he's wanted to, but as of late has been hitting very well as he now takes a fastball off the outside part of the plate there, ball one. Just a 191 average, coming into play. However, over his last couple of games, has had a total of 5 hits as he now goes fishing for a changeup. This time swung on and missed, a ball and 2 strikes here to Curtis. And certainly exploded just a couple of days ago, July 31st, the second game of the 3-game series at Bend. Went 4 for 5 with a double, a home run, 3 RBIs as he now grounds a ground ball over to the left side towards the shortstop, backhanded by Atwood, but can't come up with it. And we'll wait for the official scoring on that one. Going to be a base hit for Curtis. An infield hit certainly would have been a tough play for Atwood. It looked like a third baseman that time for the Corvallis Knights. Michael Ferris was going to have a chance to cut that ball off from the forehand. However, did not do so. And Curtis, although a large guy, about 6'4", 210, 15 pounds, does run well and would have had a hard time throwing him out, would Atwood. So now runner on first base, as that's the second hit of the ball game for Gresham. Now Ben Klinke, the backstop, will step in. Left-handed batter against Bishop down the stretch. Big deep breath here. Now Klinke shows bunt. Fastball delivered over the outside corner, called strike one. So possibly head coach Justin Barkus trying to play a little small ball, a little Corvallis ball. We've already seen one hit and run so far today, and certainly will not be the last. As Klinke now has the signs from his coach, steps in the box. Shows bunt as a pitch on the way, sacrifice attempt, and it is foiled as the ball goes foul. So unable to execute here is Klinke, and against one of the best strikeout pitchers in the WCL, arguably the best coming into play, 36 strikeouts in 27 innings. Klinke's going to have himself a tough time right here in 0-2 count. So walking back to home plate, going to pick up the lumber. So far this season, Klinke has been hitting very solid, 262 average over 25 games, 14 RBIs, quality production from the catching position that at the beginning of the season the Grey Wolves are really struggling with. We'll now have to shorten up here as a ground ball over the right side, fielded by the second baseman Kelly, and it goes right through his legs. That's going to allow Curtis to take the turn at second base. He'll head to third as the one kicks into right field. Cody Hawken having to come all the way in to pick that one up and flipping on in, as maybe Kelly might have tried to a little too hard to try and turn two on that play. It looked like he was kind of squaring up his body to try and make the out at second and get the lead runner there, Curtis, but instead does not take the easy out, and it comes back to hurt him as he commits the error. So E4 allows Klinke to reach and allows Curtis, more importantly for the Grey Wolves, to go to third base, as now the designated hitter, Ty Wyatt, will step in. Now Wyatt, a player that hasn't had much playing time so far this season for the Grey Wolves, but a good look here to see him in the starting lineup, and a possibility, an RBI situation for him right here as he takes ball one low. Hasn't seen too many starts, I believe just about 4, although one of them came in non-conference play, had a home run in that game, went 1 for 4, almost missed another one, as he now takes a fastball at the knees, called strike one. Just a 190 average. His had 14 appearances, but like I said, only 4 of them, I believe, starts. Just a total of 21 at-bats, 4 hits, that 1 home run, also a double, and 5 RBIs as he now sends a soft chopper, third base line, picked up by the pitcher, Bishop. He'll turn and fire onto first base in time to get Wyatt. It was hustling hard, but not hard enough, as Bishop able to field his position nicely and get the first out here at the top of the second inning. So Wyatt out on the 1-3 put out, but does allow Klinke to move up to second base. Of course, Curtis, the runner on third, had to sit as the ball was, and the play was right in front of him. Certainly would have been easy for Bishop to just pick it up and either tag Curtis or get him in a rundown. So now it'll be up to Will Matheson. They're going to bring the middle infield in halfway, corners on the grass, or on the turf, I should say. An all-turf field here at Goss Stadium, or Coleman Field, I should say. The red turf describing and really setting the tone for the infield, as now Matheson will take a breaking ball low here, blocked nicely by Taylor, and it's 1-0. Now Matheson certainly has got some pop and definitely being respected for it by the left fielder Alcantar. Almost near the warning track out in left field. So any soft blooper, especially combined with the fact that the infield is in, any blooper over to the left side beyond the infield would certainly get him for a base knock, as now Matheson will take a fastball low here, ball 2. Now Matheson's stick certainly has been coming along as of late, batting just .238 on the season. However, over his last 4 games, 5 hits and 14 at-bats, a .357 batting average is now the 2-0, and this one way inside here, scoots him off the plate, 3 balls and no strikes. Also 3 runs scored, had 1 home run, a 2-run shot up against Kitsap up in Gresham 2 series ago. That was in the second game of that series, as now he'll take strike 1 right through the heart of the plate. Had the red light all the way. Still finds himself in a hitter's count. Has also worked a total of 4 walks, which is second most on the team throughout that span, behind, of course, Perrin and Josh Adams. So now the 3-1, hitter's count on the way. Pitch, and it is delivered a fastball over the outside edge, called strike 2. Matheson didn't like it, but again, gonna have to shorten up right here. Can't expect the Corvallis starter here, Bishop, to put you on base, and can't expect him to give you anything. You're gonna have to go get it. One of the best pitchers in the league. That's now the payoff pitch on the way, and it is low, taken ball 4 here by Matheson. A nice eye right there. And you can certainly feel the home field advantage here for the fans of the Knights. Nearly packed all the way around. From right to left, a couple of empty orange sheets, but nonetheless, a very impressive Tuesday night crowd. Just past 7 o'clock here, as now the leadoff man, Curtis Perrin, will step in as the Grey Wolves turn it over to the top. So far, he's 0 for 1. Struck out looking in a full count in his last at-bat, and will come to the plate with the bases loaded and 1 out. Middle infield, who was playing about halfway, going to back up and pinch up the middle. Trying for the double play ball, though it's going to be difficult to double up Perrin with his speed. First pitch on the way from Bishop, and it is slapped off the screen to the left, out of play, foul here. No balls and 1 strike. Now, I mentioned in the previous batter how Matheson over the last week was only second on the team in walks to Perrin himself, tied along with Josh Adams. However, Perrin has been just an on-base machine. A total of 28 walks. That's the second most on the team, behind just Ryan Smith, who's played in nearly 20 more games. As the 0-1, a bender, and it just gets on top of the strike zone, called strike 2 here by Knutz. And again, Perrin didn't like it. Didn't like the call. I believe it was the 3-1 and the 3-2 fastballs that were kind of on the inside corner. However, nonetheless, as he chokes up on the bat here, going to need to put the ball in play at the very least. Gets right on top of the plate, does the left-handed Perrin. And now we'll see the pitch on the way from Bishop. Swung on and missed. A big pitch right there from Cameron Bishop. Got him swinging, chased a curveball off the plate and down. And Curtis Perrin's second strikeout comes right here. Not a great time for Gresham, as they have 2 away here. And the last opportunity to possibly put a run across this inning will fall upon Jack Johnson. Now, he certainly delivered in the top of the first inning. On a 1-1 pitch, hit a fastball way out and over the high left field wall here at Goss Stadium. Arguably one of the deepest parts of the park, with the way that the wall is set up. Probably, I'd say, about 20-25 feet that he had to climb there. As Johnson takes a breather, steps back out, we'll readjust the batting gloves. And now we'll tow it right at the back of the box as he has that right foot. A straight up stance. Now holds the bat over his right shoulder, wags it, and the first pitch on the way from Bishop. Change up on the outside corner, called strike 1. And a nice spot there, who Bishop has been able to work out of a couple of jams already in this inning, or I should say a couple of batters in a situation. After that error by the second baseman, Kelly put runners on first and second. Got Wyatt to ground out softly back to the pitcher. And then after walking Matheson in a full count, it was a good at-bat. Then struck out Curtis Perrin on 3 pitches. So it's up to Johnson here as the 0-1 on the way. Fastball low and outside here, gloved by Taylor. And it's a ball and a strike. Now, Johnson batting just .228 on the season coming into play, and has been struggling a bit as of late. Just 3 hits in his last 18 at-bats, although 2 of them are doubles. And has been able to rack up 3 runs batted in as well. So now the pitch on the way. Breaking ball grounded over to the left side. A nice play made there by, I believe that's the head coach for Corvallis, Brooke Knight. A barehanded play on a one-hopper right into the dugout. So credit to him, as that'll go for strike 2. And again, Johnson trying not to fall victim to what got Wyatt, as well as more notably Perrin. That breaking ball, Bishop not afraid to throw it in the dirt. He's certainly got a lot of trust in his catcher, Taylor, as now Johnson will step out, take a practice swing, now prepare to get back in the box. Infield back, right around the grass. All the way around. Outfield playing a bit shallow out in right field is Hawkins. He's comes in a couple steps. Now the 1-2 on the way. Soft ground ball right to the shortstop, Atwood. He'll glove it, go the easy way to second base on the underhand flip, and the side is retired. So the Grey Wolves able to get 1 hit and an extra base runner, but cannot take advantage of the E4 as they strand 3. They strand the bases loaded, do not score 1 run, as now we'll head to the bottom half of the second inning. It'll be Michael Ferris, Andrew Reichenbach, and Matt Kelly when we return here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live. It's Gresham 1 and Corvallis nothing.
It's a howling good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
If you are looking for an award-winning institution of higher education that is touching lives in many ways, look no further than Mount Hood Community College. For 50 years, MHCC has been an economic engine that brings hundreds of millions of dollars into our community, while also providing great educational services to area residents. No matter what you're interested in, MHCC has a place for you. To learn more, visit our website at mhcc.edu. Mount Hood Community College, transforming lives, building communities.
It's time to gear up. Visit the Grey Wolves team store during your next visit to Osland Field. Hats, hoodies, and shirts in different styles, colors, and logos to show your support of Gresham's team. We have a huge selection of Grey Wolves gear available online as well. Just visit GreshamGreyWolves.com to pick up your favorite gear and wear it to the next Grey Wolves game at Osland Field. That's the team store at GreshamGreyWolves.com. Gear up!
And so now the right-hander Spud Heidemann back on the bump for his second inning of work. Was able to work out of a jam. Had Andy Atwood, the shortstop, on second base. Was able to get Zach Taylor to end the first inning for the Corvallis offense, who coming into this series and really throughout the entirety of the season as Michael Ferris will step in the box, hasn't really hung their hat on their ability to put a ton of runs up on the board, as now Ferris takes a fastball outside here, 1-0. And their team average on the season, just a notch above 250 at 256. And in the past week, which is actually surprising as they're batting 242, and now Heidemann delivers a strike on the outside corner here, 1-1. Batting just 242 over their last week. And considering the fact that they're riding a 5-game winning streak, really points to the fact that their strengths lie on defense and on their pitching staff, is now a slider. It looked like a check swing there from Ferris, but apparently called strike 2 anyways. So Randy Knutz throws up the hee-haw sign, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Ferris. Now Spiderman in the windup, working quickly, delivers another slider, swung on and missed. Actually in the dirt there that time, but picked by Clanky, able to just pop up and apply the tag to Ferris. We'll head back to the dugout, and that's the first strikeout of the ball game here for Spud Heidemann. Now originally, Andrew Heidemann, although as we've been able to talk a little bit throughout the season, and I'm sure I've told this story a couple times in the broadcast, when he was born, he was at 11 pounds, was the young Andrew Heidemann, and so called him Spud, did his parents, and really quite an applicable nickname with that type of story. And as Andrew Reichenbach takes strike 1, it's interesting how it works out, because Heidemann definitely not one of the most physically intimidating players on the team, as he now misses a tad low there with a fastball on the outside edge, 1-1. However, certainly packs a punch, much like a bag of Spuds, as he now delivers a changeup outside here, 2 balls, 1 strike. Has gotten rocked a little bit over his last couple of starts, although hasn't found a loss since June 15th against the Victoria Harbor Cats, as now he fires a fastball, lays through the right side, gonna get in for a base knock. First hit of the ball game here for Corvallis as Andrew Reichenbach sends a line drive in between Perrin and the first baseman Will Matheson, as Curtis is out in left field. However, nonetheless, a 1-out single here will now bring the second baseman Matt Kelly to the plate. Now, like I was saying, Spud in his last outing against Kitsap was really his worst of the season. In fact, only was able to go 4 2/3, didn't get the loss because the Grey Wolves offense was still able to come back and retie the ball game, although ended up falling late, as now he bends a slider on the outside edge here, 0-1 to Kelly. However, in his start, allowed 8 runs, 6 of them earned, and gave up, at the time, I believe, a West Coast League season high 13 hits, as he now gets a swing and a miss on a slider down and away, and quickly 0-2 here to Kelly. And the interesting thing was is that he wasn't making bad pitches, at least from my perch up in the booth. And at the time, I had a second inning interview with Carter Book. He was in the booth as well. And both of us were kind of looking back and forth as to why he was getting hit so hard as the 0-2 now on the way. Gloved in the dirt. A nice play there made by Klenke, as it's called ball one. But able to still get a glove on that, prevent the runner from moving up. So anyways, I was with Book, and we were talking about it as to how the Kitsap Blue Jackets offense was able to go out, and they were barreling every single pitch as now time is called at the plate. And it really, I don't think, was a great reflection of how Heidemann had been pitching this year, because he was burying that slider, which had been so effective up until that point. But sometimes the ball just doesn't roll your way, as the 1-2 fastball low here, and a bluff back pick attempt there by Klenke. So Reichenbach will scamper back to the bag. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 1-0 ball game here in the first game of a 3-game series. Jack Johnson went deep in the first inning, is now a slider called low. In the dirt there, blocked by Klenke, and it's a full count. So after going 0-2 here to Kelly, fires 3 balls in a row, and suddenly we got ourselves a full count. And these are the type of counts accustomed to seeing the Knights try and put something on the base pass, whether it be a hit and run, straight stolen base. I would not be surprised to see Reichenbach on the move here. And actually a pickoff attempt, as he was leaning towards second base. And now the throwback for Matheson gets beyond the pitcher, but fortunately for the Grey Wolves, Zickafoos alertly backing up the pickoff attempt. Or I should say the throw back from the pickoff attempt, and is able to get it back to Sput. So no harm done. Still 1 out, runner on first base. As Kelly steps back in the box. Heidemann from the stretch. Comes set around the shoulders. Deep breath at the top. Now kicks and fires. Runner on the move, and it is ball 4. Klenke was set up to throw, and that pitch was just off the outside edge. But nonetheless, back-to-back base runners here for Heidemann. His second walk of the ball game. Now, he didn't walk any in that Kitsap outing, which is one of the things that I also highlighted. He gave up 13 hits, and of course the 8 runs, 6 of them earned, but no walks and 3 strikeouts. So really, it was all Kitsap doing the damage, and especially with the quality of pitches that he was making. Obviously, not all of them were perfect, but I mean, you just got to tip your cap in that case to the Blue Jackets offense. So now Cody Hawkin will step in, takes a fastball right through the heart of the plate here, 0-1. So Heidemann's still able to get ahead in the count. Early and often has been ahead to every single one of these batters, although eventually fell behind to both Reichenbach and Kelly. So runners on second and first here, 1 down. Checks back to second. Now the 0-1 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed here. Blew it by him in the outside corner. Heidemann might have reared back for a little extra that time, and now ahead in the count 0-2. Similar to Kelly, so hopefully he has learned his lesson, does not want to let this batter get away from him. Heidemann from Bakersfield, California, is now he fires a fastball, swung on and missed. Went up the ladder that time as Klenke was set up high. Heidemann hit his spot, and Cody Hawkin goes down on strikes. So Ferris and now Hawkin went swinging here in this inning, and there's 2 away here for the left fielder Emilio Alcantar, batting 9th this evening for the Corvallis Knights. He'll step to the plate. And I believe the only batter on either side is featuring the no batting gloves look. He's got the white tape on his left wrist as he is a left-handed batter. Although a very old school look, as now Heidemann will step off the rubber. Check back his shortstop, Jack Johnson, who is tasked with holding Reichenbach on second base. Going to creep in a little closer. Reichenbach not necessarily the fastest, but can move pretty well. And so the first pitch on the way, thanks to the train horns there, is a fastball misses just a bit low to Alcantar here, 1-0. You got to wonder with the visual perch they have from the front of that train if they weren't in particular trying to blow the horn exactly when the opposing team was pitching. However, nonetheless, didn't get the spud as the 1-0 on the way, and it is swung on and missed. A fastball up and in. Might have got him to chase a ball there. and is instead able to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Now, Spud's last win, in fact, actually came against the Knights on July 22nd when 6 2/3 innings pitched, only allowed 3 runs, 2 earned. As now this one is fouled back off the screen, a fastball here, and Alcantar down to the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. He scattered 7 hits in that ball game, only allowed 1 walk, just 2 strikeouts. His career high, or I should say season high in strikeouts, is just at 5. And has always scattered a lot of hits throughout his starts, but maintains the effectiveness as he's just 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning. Is the 1-2 changeup off the glove of Clanky and kicks away, but able to hustle to it and keep that runner on second base. Looked like a changeup with a lot of movement there. Certainly, Spud has got good off-speed stuff. He's got a wicked slider. Likes to feature that against righties and then go to that changeup against left-handed batters. Also got some movement on that fastball with some 2-seam run. So no harm, no foul there is Clanky, now back in the squat. Heidemann in the stretch. Now the 2-2. Curveball down and in, grounded to the right side, playable there for Matheson. He'll glove it and step on the bag to retire the side. So after allowing a couple of base runners there with 1 out, able to get a strikeout and a ground out to get himself out of the inning. As we'll go to the 3rd here at Goss Stadium, it'll be Connor Zickafoose, Josh Adams, and Ryan Smith. 3-4-5 for Gresham when we return here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live. It's 1-0 in favor of your Grey Wolves.
Play with your Gresham Grey Wolves by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner, contact the Grey Wolves at 503-428-5248. Again, that's 503-428-5248. Your partnership with the Grey Wolves will be a howl of a good time.
Pack the park at Osland Field. The Grey Wolves are hosting the Bend Elks from Friday, August 5th through Sunday, August 7th. Fans can get $5 general admission tickets or $7 reserved seats all series long for the last West Coast League regular season series of the year. Just send an email to jerry@greshamgraywolves.com to receive your Pack the Park voucher to bring to the Osland Field. For more details, visit greshamgraywolves.com.
Follow your Gresham Grey Wolves on social media. The Grey Wolves are active on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Gresham G Wolves. Follow your favorite West Coast League baseball team at home, on the road, and in the community. Behind-the-scenes access, photos from the ballpark, video recaps, and more, all at your fingertips. That's at Gresham G Wolves on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
And so now the first pitch of the top half of the 3rd inning on the way, fouled straight off and back by the 3rd baseman for Gresham, Connor Zickafoose, as he steps in. Currently 0 for 1 against the starting pitcher, Cameron Bishop. Struck out on 3 pitches back in the 1st inning, as he now takes a slider there on the outside edge here. Now 0-2 to Zickafoose, so clearly not seeing that lefty-on-lefty matchup well. And not to say that he's the only one that struggled, but Cameron Bishop has really commanded the strike zone well here against Zickafoose. Now bounces one in the dirt, but doesn't get a bite. So that'll be the first ball in the at-bat. And like I mentioned, Cameron Bishop, at least talking to Justin Barkis before the ball game, talked about how he arguably should be recognized as the best pitcher in the WCL, and now gets a swing and a miss. Drop 3rd strike, but the catcher Taylor is able to pick it up and throw it on over to first base in time, as there's 1 away here to begin the 3rd. 4 strikeouts in the ballgame so far for Bishop, although to the advantage of Gresham, I mentioned how Barkis speaks so highly of him. However, has only gone 5 innings in each of his last 5 outings, and probably something having to do with a pitch limit or an innings limit, but nonetheless has not gone deep into ball games so far this year. And in fact, 5 is effectively the threshold as he delivers a strike on the inside edge to Josh Adams, 0-1. Because that is his season high. And even stemming back to last season, when he pitched for the Knights in the summer of 2015, only went 4 2/3. That was the most he ever won in an outing, as now he misses low with an off-speed pitch to even up the count at 1-1. So now Taylor will go out and talk to his battery mate, as him and Cameron have a bit of a discussion. And it was actually in a situation like this, I believe it was in Game 2 of the series up in Gresham between the Knights and the Grey Wolves, that Adams and Taylor had a bit of a scuffle at the plate. It was kind of a situation where one thought the other was doing something that they shouldn't have been doing, and then had a couple of words. Although, fortunately, nothing blew out of proportion. The home plate umpire was able to get in the middle of them. Is now Taylor behind home plate. Bishop, has this signed and delivers a fastball low here, 1-0. So the home plate umpire was able to break that up, and good vibes the rest of the ways. Of course, Taylor as well as Adams, both class acts. Appears to be no problem here in the second at bat for Adams, as he'll now foul this one off. Took a big swing there, ended up on one knee. Similar to Adrian Beltre in the way he swings from the right side sometimes and can go down and get a ball, essentially golfing baseballs out of the stadium left and right. I mean, Adrian Beltre, plenty of power, and same with Josh Adams. So just missing that pitch is the count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 1-0 here in the top of the third. The Grey Wolves got on the board in the very first inning. On the second batter of the game, Jack Johnson hit a solo shot out to deep left beyond the Nike sign here on the left field line. Is now Adams taps this one, rolls one over to the right side, out of play, foul here, and we'll do it again. The right fielder this evening for Gresham worked himself a full count walk in his first at-bat. Although as of late, hasn't been hitting very well. Over his last 20 at-bats, just 3 hits for an even 150 average. Also has struck out 5 times, so looking to hopefully spark something in the first game of this series here as he takes a fastball just a bit inside. And a nice take there for Adams, now working back-to-back full counts. Was able to work himself a positive result in the first at-bat and drew ball 4. That was just the second walk, as our first walk of the ball game for Richard. Is now the payoff pitch on the way, fastball up and tight. That's ball 4. Adams looked like he was thinking about pulling the trigger, but fortunately for the Grey Wolves is able to hold up, as now he is on first base here with 1 out. So now Ryan Smith will step in. He's 0 for 1 as he grounded out to the second baseman, Matt Kelly. Already has 1 error, actually, as Ben Klinke hit a ground ball, much like Adams, was kind of soft in a double play situation where Kelly tried to maybe be a hero, tried to turn a tough double play, and instead could not come up with it. So Smith, I guess, got lucky in that case. The first pitch on the way to him, swing and a miss on a fastball on the outside edge here, 0-1. So 1 down. Smith will be followed by Curtis and Klinke after him. Both of them reached base back in the second. The Grey Wolves unfortunately stranding 3 runners. Already a total of 4 left on base, as Adams was left back in the first inning, although it was all the way at first. Is now a drag bunt attempt on the third base line. Picked up by the catcher, Taylor. He's got no play, as Ryan Smith able to use that speed. A hard 90 down the first base line, and a bunt single here for the Gresham center fielder. So a nice idea, and actually that's something I've wondered a bit about in how teams haven't been able to adjust to that. And not like it's in the scouting report or anything when you face a team, but Ryan Smith has laid down drag bunts plenty of times throughout this summer season. In fact, I believe has done it once already against Corvallis. So third baseman Michael snapping, and with the bunt far enough up the third base line, no play there for the catcher Taylor. So now the big righty Drew Curtis will step in. Runners on second and first. Adams still dancing around second base, and now going to step off as Cameron Bishop, give him a long look. Matt Kelly, the second baseman, will be tasked with keeping him close. And although Adams is only with 1 stolen base on the season, certainly can run well. Bishop a long look back, now finally pitches and delivers a fastball right on the outside corner at the knees, and it's 0-1 here to Curtis. Now Drew, much like Ryan Smith, was able to work himself an infield single in his first at-bat, so he's 1 for 1. That's 6 hits in the last 3 games for Curtis. Although his was ground ball kind of through the 5.5 hole, backhanded by the shortstop, as now he takes a backdoor breaking ball in for strike 2 over the outside edge. Was able to get that base knock in a 1-2 count, so no stranger to working behind in the count. And with the way that Bishop has attacked the strike zone, nearly every one of these Grey Wolves hitters at some point has been down in a pitcher's count. So we'll see what Curtis can do here. Pickoff attempt over to second base, and he is out at second base. Matt Kelly applying the tag. A quick backs turn, little spin there from Cameron Bishop, and that's the second out of the inning. I mentioned how Adams was dancing around to begin this at bat, so Corvallis obviously paying closer attention to him. And something that goes very undervalued. The ability to pick off effectively to second base especially is now he'll get Drew Curtis to swing on a fastball upstairs, and just like that, the Grey Wolves are down. After having runners on first and second with one out, a pickoff attempt and a pitch later, a strikeout here, have them retired in the top of the third. So we'll head to the home half of the inning with Kyle Nobach, Andy Atwood, and Roman Garcia. The top of the order coming up for the Corvallis Knights when we return here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live. The Grey Wolves still have the lead here, 1-0.
Bum, ba-da-dum, da-da-dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford, where I'll donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
And so now it'll be Kyle Nobach coming to the plate in the home half of the third inning here for the Corvallis Knights. He led off the ball game, worked himself actually a 9-pitch at-bat before lining out to the center fielder, Ryan Smith. A nice over-the-shoulder catch made on the first bout of the ball game as he now swings at the first pitch he sees and laces this one back off the screen here, 0-1. And so Spud Heidemann back out of the mound for his third inning of work. So far, so good. He's able to work out of a couple of jams in the first as well as the second inning. So far, stranded 3 Knights base runners, 2 of which in scoring position as he now delivers a fastball too far inside and low here. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now, Nobach in the last series was a guy that at the top of the order, really however he went, was the way the Corvallis game plan, especially offensively, went, as he now takes a ball outside here, 2 balls, 1 strike. In the first game of the series, he went 0 for 4. Gresham coasted to a win, 7-3 in the first game of that series. And then the second game ended up breaking out, 2 for 4, runs scored, and Corvallis won 7-3 as he sends a high fly ball deep to left field, but playable there for the left fielder, Curtis. It looked like he got a bad jump, but is still able to cover some ground and get back there to make the catch here, 1 away. So Nobach able to make solid contact as Curtis caught that just about 10 feet in front of the warning track out there in left field. However, no dice there for Nobach. Robbed twice, you could argue, here so far in this ball game. Both by outfielders for Gresham. And Curtis, a guy, especially with the sun peering down from the right side into left field. Now going to get another fly ball as this one is covered down the left field line, giving chases Johnson and Curtis as Johnson will now yield to the left fielder, and he'll make the catch, now 2 away. The sun pouring on from the right side here and sort of creating a very difficult angle to see for not only the left fielder, but also kind of the shortstop Johnson. He's got the shades on, as well as every member of the outfield, Adams, Smith, and Drew Curtis, right to left. As now with 2 away, Roman Garcia will step to the plate. And that glare is going to be something that could possibly play with the sun getting lower and lower. I'd say probably about the 5th or 6th inning it will be gone, as the first fastball on the way misses too far inside here to Garcia, 1-0. We've seen the sun play a little bit at Osland Field too, the opposite way as it comes in from the left field side. Affects players on the right side of the diamond, as now this front door slider can't quite catch the edge here, and it's 2-0. So it appears that there possibly could be kind of a shorter porch out there in right field, as Adams is playing a little more shallow, as was the right fielder for Corvallis, as now Garcia takes ball 3 off the outside corner here. 3 balls, no strikes. The right fielder Cody Hawkin was also playing in. Left fielders, both Alcantara and Curtis, kind of a little further back, so the corner guys staggering themselves a bit in terms of positioning, as now Garcia will take ball 4. Actually, the second 4-pitch walk issued here by Heidemann, 3rd on the ball game, as the man who just flied out, Atwood, was able to work himself a 4-pitch walk in the 1st inning. So hopefully Heidemann not able to let that free base come around to score. Gresham has had some trouble with recording that 3rd out of the inning, as now right-hander Zach Taylor will step in. And the catcher, first pitch on the way to him, is a slider off the corner, too far outside, however, and it's 1-0. Taylor flew out to Ryan Smith to end the 1st inning, although gave it a ride, as Heidemann will work out of the stretch now with a runner on first. Garcia takes his lead, not a big one. There's a 1-0 on the way. Fastball just below the knees there. I thought he might get the call, but nonetheless, Randy Knutz rules ball. So that's the 6th in a row here for Heidemann. I wouldn't be surprised to see, should he, especially not only throw ball 3 here, but effectively ball 4. Wouldn't be surprised to see Ian Sanderson, the pitching coach, come out and have a word. Now the 2-0, a high fly ball, but playable down the left field line. Curtis drifting over into the corner, now settles under it and will make the catch. So 3 flyouts, all to left field, all caught by Drew Curtis. He's able to fight the sun and fight off the Corvallis Knights here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. That will conclude it, as we're a third of the way through here at Goss Stadium. The Gresham Gray Wolves hold the lead at 1-0. When we come back, it'll be my broadcast partner, Nick Winstead, taking you through the middle innings. As for that, we'll take a quick break here on Gresham Gray Wolves Baseball Live. It's Gresham 1 and Corvallis 0.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is at home of Gresham Gray Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
If you are looking for an award-winning institution of higher education that is touching lives in many ways, look no further than Mount Hood Community College. For 50 years, MHCC has been an economic engine that brings hundreds of millions of dollars into our community, while also providing great educational services to area residents. No matter what you're interested in, MHCC has a place for you. To learn more, visit our website at mhcc.edu. Mount Hood Community College, transforming lives, building communities.
Hello and welcome back to Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, home of the Oregon State Beavers. I'm Nick Winstead, bringing you the middle innings. As Evan told you guys, it's a 1-0 lead for Gresham here against the Corvallis Knights. And stepping into the box for the 2nd time today, it's number 22, Ben Clanky. First pitch, fastball inside, ball 1. Clanky reached on an error in the 2nd and ended up being stranded at 2nd. Bishop nods in agreement with Taylor. The 1-0, fastball will miss low and outside, 2-0 the count. Cameron Bishop having some walk troubles today. He's walked 3, which puts him into double digits on the year. Now has 12 walks on the season. The 2-0 pitch, fastball inside, ball 3. Looked like Clanky was prepared for a fastball and started his swing. Then he had to stop it immediately and try and get out of the way of that one. So it's a 3-0 count. The pitch on its way. Fastball just grabs the lower outside part of the plate for strike one. A 3-1 count and a 1-0 lead for Gresham. Long look in from Bishop. Deep breath. The 3-1 up into the air, left side, and that will be out of play. Strike two. Work it from a 3-0 count to now a full count has Bishop. And Clanky will step back in, hitting from the left side. His black cleats. The turfs here on the all-turf field in Corvallis. Works from the back end of the left-handed batter's box. White batting gloves, arm length, black sleeve. The 3-2 pitch, fastball outside, ball four. Fourth walk of the game, and it'll be a leadoff walk. The second leadoff hitter aboard today for Gresham. That'll bring up Ty Wyatt, the DH today. Wyatt had a swinging bunt, essentially, in his first at-bat. It ended up being a productive out as it did move base runners over, but not what he was wanting out of that at-bat. The first pitch swung on and blown by on the fastball. Strike one. Glove resting on the front hip of Bishop as he works from the stretch. A slight lead at first base for Clanky, just about one step off the bag. Fastball low. Strike two called. Just grabs the black on the outside half of the plate, and with that, Wyatt will take a step out and dig right back in. Down 0-2, have to shorten up his swing. A two-strike approach now. Runner at first base, no outs. The 0-2 pitch. Fastball low and inside, and we're off to the races as Clanky. The throw will be off the bag, not in time. And Clanky is in safely on what will be ruled a wild pitch. As Taylor had to go to the backhand, lift off of his glove, spun around through wide of second base. Atwood, the shortstop, able to corral it. Tries to apply the tag, but Clanky in well beforehand. It's a 1-2 count now to Wyatt. Runner in scoring position. The pitch. And that'll be strike three. Swinging down goes Ty Wyatt. The changeup got him to go around. It's the sixth strikeout of the game for Bishop. That'll bring up the 9-hitter, Will Matheson. He drew a walk, a full count. Ended up being the third out on a fielder's choice hit into by Johnson. And the first pitch to Matheson, fastball down low. 1-0 the count. The big Will Matheson, 6'6". He'll be a freshman next year at Stanford. He works from the back end of the right-handed batter's box. His right cleat on the end of the box, the painted-in box here on the all-turf field. The 1-0 pitch from Bishop. Fastball fouled off into the net. Strike one. A gorgeous day here in Oregon. It was a leisurely drive from Bend to Corvallis. Got to go through a lot of the forests that Oregon is so well known for. Really a beautiful scenery. It's a 1-1 count, one out, runner at second base. The pitch will pop off the glove of Taylor. Clanky goes to third, head first slide, safe. And that will be ruled as a pass ball. So Clanky has gotten a couple of good jumps on initially a wild pitch and then a pass ball, and he finds himself at third base in a 2-1 count, as the first pitch that he went on was a hard one to handle. This one just popped right off the glove of Zach Taylor. And so all of a sudden, runner at third base, one out for Matheson. And with that, the outfielders will push a little bit back. Bishop, deep breath, the kick, the 1-2 pitch. That'll miss low. And that makes it by my count, 2-2 count. 1 out. The pitch. And strike 3 called, a delayed call from Randy Knutz, but it is strike 3 looking. Down goes Will Matheson. That's the 7th strikeout. Back-to-back strikeouts for Bishop, with now the leadoff hitter at the plate, Curtis Perrin, and Perrin has struck out a pair of times. He was the first strikeout victim of the game, and then the third. First time up, looking. Second time, a 3-pitch see you later with a swing and a miss at the end. First pitch fastball, strike 1 called. And Bishop, as I mentioned, had some walk issues in this one thus far, has been propping himself up with now 7 strikeouts. Just a 1-run lead for the Gray Wolves. A swing and a miss on a slider outside. Chasing is Perrin. 0-2 count now. 2 outs. Runner at third base. Ben Klinke, who reached on a leadoff walk and moved to second on a wild pitch and to third on a pass ball. He's got a slight lead. Ferris not too far off the bag. The 0-2 pitch up and into the air, and that'll be a pop-up into shallow right center field. And calling everybody off and making the play is Kyle Novak. And the Gray Wolves have a runner at third base and can't plate him. It remains a 1-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 4th. It'll be Ferris, Reichenbach, and Kelly due up for the Corvallis Knights. You're listening to Gray Wolves Live.
If you are looking for an award-winning institution of higher education that is touching lives in many ways, look no further than Mount Hood Community College. For 50 years, MHCC has been an economic engine that brings hundreds of millions of dollars into our community, while also providing great educational services to area residents. No matter what you're interested in, MHCC has a place for you. To learn more, visit our website at mhcc.edu. Mount Hood Community College, transforming lives, building communities.
It's time to gear up. Visit the Gray Wolves team store during your next visit to Osland Field. Hats, hoodies, and shirts in different styles, colors, and logos to show your support of Gresham's team. We have a huge selection of Gray Wolves gear available online as well. Just visit GreshamGrayWolves.com to pick up your favorite gear and wear it to the next Gray Wolves game at Osland Field. That's the team store at GreshamGrayWolves.com. Gear up!
Turn a double play with your Gresham Gray Wolves by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner, contact the Gray Wolves at 503-428-5248. Again, that's 503-428-5248. Your partnership with the Gray Wolves will be a howl of a good time.
Hello and welcome back here to Corvallis. I'm Nick Winstead. It's a 1-0 lead for Gresham over Corvallis. The Gray Wolves into their second series of the road trip. Michael Ferris coming to the plate for the Knights. He's 0 for 1 today with a strikeout, swinging the first strikeout. And this one, first pitch put into play, and it's a soft line drive to shortstop Johnson. He gloves it for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out for Heidemann. Really what has been a pretty good appearance thus far for a guy that known as Spud, especially in contrast with his last outing where he gave up a season high for across the West Coast League, 13 hits. Is doing well thus far. Still a lot of baseball to be played. Is swinging and a miss, strike 1. Reichenbach takes a big swing and rears back and ends up stumbling out of the box afterwards. 0-1 the count, 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. Fastball up. Ball 1, a 1-1 count. The Gresham Gray Wolves in their gray uniforms, gray caps, black bill. The 1-1 pitch, rolled over to second base. Perrin waits on it. He gloves it, fires over to Matheson. In time, out number 2. That'll bring up Matt Kelly with 2 outs. The second baseman drew a full count walk. His first time up in the second, he'd be stranded at first. thus far. The Knights have left 4 runners on base, as the Grey Wolves have left 6 aboard. A low-scoring game, a pitcher's duel showing a bunt, taking an attempt at it, but coming up empty was Kelly. Strike 1. Trying to get anything going to get on board. The second baseman trying for the bunt for the hit there. We already saw one of those today as a fastball misses inside. It was Ryan Smith, the center fielder for the Grey Wolves, who bunt for a hit. Back in the third. It's a 1-1 count. The pitch from Heidemann up into the air into right center field. It's a long run for Adams, but he'll make the play on the run, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Spud Heidemann and the Grey Wolves. It remains a 1-0 lead for Gresham over Corvallis as we head to the top of the 5th. When we come back, it will be Johnson, Zickafoos, and Adams due up.
Pack the park at Osland Field. The Grey Wolves are hosting the Bend Elks from Friday, August 5th through Sunday, August 7th. Fans can get $5 general admission tickets or $7 reserved seats all series long for the last West Coast League regular season series of the year. Just send an email to jerry@greshamgraywolves.com to receive your Pack the Park voucher to bring to the Osland Field gate. For more details, visit greshamgraywolves.com.
Follow your Gresham Grey Wolves on social media. The Grey Wolves are active on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Gresham G Wolves. Follow your favorite West Coast League baseball team at home, on the road, and in the community. Behind-the-scenes access, photos from the ballpark, video recaps, and more, all at your fingertips. That's at Gresham G Wolves on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Bum ba da dum da da dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum ba dum bum bum bum.
Finding the
Welcome back to Corvallis. A new pitcher into the game for the Knights. It's number 25, Chris Burkholder, taking over for Cameron Bishop. First pitch ball to Johnson. And a swing and a miss. Strike 1 evens the count at 1. The off-speed pitch getting Johnson to go around. He hit a home run in his first at-bat in a 1-1 count, and it's the lone run of the game thus far. The 1-1 pitch from Burkholder. Slider, strike 2. Unleashing that pitch for the first time. And Johnson, as the leadoff man this inning against the new pitcher, trying to get as many pitches out of him as possible. The 1-2 pitch swung on and fouled into the glove of Taylor. They go around the horn. Strikeout in his first batter face for Burkholder, and it's the 8th strikeout of the game for the Knights. As Cameron Bishop's day is done. It'll bring up Connor Zickafoos. Bishop goes 4 innings, gives up 3 hits, 1 run, that home run, 4 walks, and 7 strikeouts, and 19 batters faced. Zickafoos 0 for 2 with 2 of those 7 strikeouts. He sees first pitch down low. 1-0 the count. 1 out in the top of the 5th. Zickafoos hits from the left side, a straight up batting stance from the left side, and he watches changeup miss outside. 2-0 the count. Tall Black Sox for Connor. Black cleats, gray batting gloves. The 2-0 will be fouled off of himself and roll up the third baseline. Strike one as he started to make his way down to first base as he saw first base rather. He made his way down to first base as third baseman Michael Ferris started charging in on. He just wanted to make sure he wasn't gonna get stuck in the box there as he was trying to walk that one off. So he continues to walk that one off, and now he'll pick up his bat and step back in, trying to shake it off as much as he can in between pitches. The 2-1. Fastball way inside. Zickafoos has to jump out of the way. 3-1 the count as Burkholder slipped that one towards the plate and got away. So he'll pick up a new baseball and rub it up a little bit before stepping back onto the mound. He works from the third base side. The 3-1 pitch rolled over towards first base, and that will roll foul on the all-turf surface. Strike two. The only part of the park that is not turf is the mound, as sunlight beginning to exit every part of the field, the Coleman Field. Just one strand left in center field, otherwise all shadows. But the lights are on. No worries here. The 3-2 pitch. Fastball will hit Zickafoos. This one, another one that just gets away, but Zickafoos had no time to react, and even if he had, it would have been a free pass to first base regardless. So he's aboard for the first time today, although he'd much rather have it hurt a little bit less. A painful at bat. He hit one off of himself, and he ends up getting tagged in the back. But it's a 1-out hit by pitch, and that'll bring up Josh Adams hitting cleanup today. He is yet to have an at bat. He's had 2 plate appearances and has walked both times. He was picked off for out number 2 in the third as he takes a big swing and a miss. Strike one on the off-speed pitch from Burkholder. Burkholder making his 11th appearance. They've all been out of the bullpen. He's given up 22 hits, a sidearm throw back over to first base as Zickafoos diving in head first safely. He's given up 14 runs, 6 of which are earned, 13 walks to 25 strikeouts, an 0-2 record on the year. He does have 1 save with a 2.05 ERA as off-speed will miss off the outside edge to even the count at 1 from Chris Burkholder. The white pants, maroon tops for the Knights. The 1-1 pitch. Slider dropped into the zone. Strike two. As Adams just watched that one break right into the glove of Taylor. Didn't even have to move it. Great pitch there from Burkholder. It's a 1-2 count, 1 out, 1 on. Double play depth up the middle for the Knights. The 1-2 pitch swung on, fouled. First base side takes a big carom off the fence and rolls over towards the bullpen for the Gray Wolves. It's hidden away from view right here behind home plate in the press box as the stadium is designed to give fans the best view possible, and it ends up making the bullpen bench hard to see as it's nestled away in a wall, actually. They've got a good view. We just can't see them. The 1-2 is rolled up the middle, a chance to turn 2. Atwood to Kelly. Kelly to first base, and in time. Nice play up the middle by the Knights to end the inning. The 6-4-3 double play hit into by Josh Adams. And that will do it in the top of the 5th. Still a 1-0 lead. That 1 run, the solo shot from Jack Johnson. The difference in this one as we go to the bottom of the 5th. It'll be Cody Hawk and Emilio Alcantar and Kyle Novak due up for the Knights when we return.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pine is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
If you are looking for an award-winning institution of higher education that is touching lives in many ways, look no further than Mount Hood Community College. For 50 years, MHCC has been an economic engine that brings hundreds of millions of dollars into our community, while also providing great educational services to area residents. No matter what you're interested in, MHCC has a place for you. To learn more, visit our website at mhcc.edu. Mount Hood Community College, transforming lives, building communities.
And the bottom of the fifth gets started off with a hit by pitch. The first pitch to Cody Hawken ends up tagging him from Spud Heidemann. And he's found himself aboard for the first time today after a strikeout in his first at bat. And that'll bring up Emilio Alcantar. It's from the left side. Long look in from Heidemann. He goes to the plate now. And showing bunt, pulling back on the fastball that misses just off the outside edge is Alcantar. 1-0 the count. Alcantar grounded out to Will Matheson at first base. 2 runners on in the second to end the second inning. And throw over to first base has Hawken diving in head first safely. It's a 1-0 count. Now 1-0 lead for Gresham over Corvallis. Heidemann sets at the chest, the 1-0, and another near miss off the outside edge, just trying to work that outside half against Alcantar. He showed bunt both times. Zikafus is 2 steps in on the grass at third base. It's double play depth up the middle. It's a 2-0 count though. Runner on first. After the hit by pitch, he shows bunt, pops it up into the air. A chance for Clanky to grab it, and he will. High pop-up on the first base side, and he grabs it in foul territory for out number 1. And that's a huge mistake for Alcantar, and a big break for the Grey Wolves. His job to move over Cody Hawken, and he ends up being a non-productive out in a 2-0 count. A hitter's count, and he tries to lay down the bunt, but just couldn't execute. That'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Kyle Novak. 1 out. He hits from the right side. Orange and black cleats. And first pitch fastball, strike 1. And with those orange and black cleats, you might assume that he goes to Oregon State, and you would be correct. A proud Beaver playing right here at home. Friendly confines for Kyle. He's 0 for 2 today, however, a pair of flyouts. It's an 0-1 count. Heidemann peeks over at first base. Will go to the plate. Swinging and a miss. Strike 2, slider that drops off the table. Gets Novak to go around. Came into today hitting .320 on the year. 0 for 2 thus far, but his first time up at least a quality at bat as he drew a lot of pitches out of Heidemann. He's down 0-2 now. He takes a deep breath before stepping back in. He digs in against Heidemann. Hawken with his lead at first base, and the throw over to first base. A tag applied by Matheson, but in standing up was Hawken. Middle infielders Johnson and Perrin ready for potential double play ball. It's an 0-2 count, 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. And the 0-2 pitch goes back to the slider, but this time Novak able to stay off. It's a 1-2 count. Beautiful views here at Goss Stadium of the OSU campus. You get to see some of the residential buildings, some of the older athletic facilities, a couple of the field houses, as well as trees that make their way through the campus. At the 1-2 pitch, a high drive into left center field. Curtis and Smith are back, and this one is going to be high off the wall and into the outfield. That'll be a ground rule double. It's right off the top of the wall and out of the field, and Cody Hawken will be taken to third base on the ground rule double from Novak, and he hit that very well. One hopped, clicked up the top of the wall and right over, and a potential break for the Gray Wolves. See if they can make the most of it. Now 2 runners in scoring position, 1 out. Andy Atwood at the plate. He has a walk and a fly out today, a 4-pitch walk. He was the second batter faced by Heidemann. He sees first pitch fastball, strike 1. Atwood also had a stolen base then when he was aboard. Corner infielders Zikafus and Matheson, 1 step off the grass. And just missing with the breaking ball is Heidemann. 1-1 the count. And of course, it's not strictly speaking grass. It's just green colored turf as opposed to the dirt colored turf. The 1-1 pitch from Heidemann. A high drive, high into the air into left field. This one is going back and will be into the glove of Curtis at the warning track. And tagging up from third base and tying the game is Cody Hawken. As off the bat, that one was going to be trouble. It's just whether or not it stayed in the stadium or not. And so a sacrifice fly from Atwood ties the game at 1. Now 2 outs. Kyle Novak not advancing as the throw went to third base. Curtis wisely just getting to third base, keep that runner as far away as possible. 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th, a 1-1 game. Roman Garcia coming to the plate, 0 for 1 today with a ground out to shortstop. He walked a 4-pitch walk in his last at bat in the 3rd. As first pitch curveball nearly ends up rolling into the backstop. A nice play by Clanky to slide over to his right, as that one wasn't as sharp as some of the previous pitches we've seen from Heidemann. Ball behind the back of Heidemann, brings it into his glove, sets at the chest. The 1-0. Another drive into left field. Curtis is back at the wall, and it's going to one-hop the wall. And coming in to score from second base is Novak. The throw will be not in time to second base. It is an RBI double for Roman Garcia as the Knights are starting to square up Heidemann. It's a 2-1 lead for Corvallis over Gresham. And that is now 3 well-hit balls in as many batters for the Knights. Kyle Novak ground rule double to left center field. A deep fly ball to left field from Atwood. And a 1-hop off the wall in left field from Garcia. And they've got a 2-1 lead. Brings up Zach Taylor, the cleanup hitter, 0 for 2 today with a pair of flyouts. Heidemann sets, looks back at second base, will go to the plate. First pitch slider off the plate, 1-0 the count. As Taylor will tighten up his orange and white batting gloves, gray and white cleats, high black socks, just like the vast majority of his teammates. A couple guys sporting stirrups. The 1-0 pitch from Heidemann up into the air, and that will be into shallow right center field, and taking over and making the play is second baseman Perrin for out number 3. It's a 2-run inning for the Knights. They take the lead 2-1 as we go to the top of the 6th. The Gray Wolves now down a run. It'll be up to Ryan Smith, Drew Curtis, and Ben Clanky to start getting things rolling. You're listening to Gray Wolves Live.
It's time to gear up. Visit the Gray Wolves team store during your next visit to Osland Field. Hats, hoodies, and shirts in different styles, colors, and logos to show your support of Gresham's team. We have a huge selection of Gray Wolves gear available online as well. Just visit GreshamGrayWolves.com to pick up your favorite gear and wear it to the next Gray Wolves game at Osland Field. That's the team store at GreshamGrayWolves.com. Gear up!
a double play with your Gresham Grey Wolves by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner, contact the Grey Wolves at 503-428-5248. Again, that's 503-428-5248. Your partnership with the Grey Wolves will be a howl of a good time.
Welcome back. I'm Nick Winstead. Now the 6th inning, and it's a 2-1 lead for Corvallis over Gresham. The Knights plating 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th. Cody Hawken got aboard on a hit by pitch brought in on the sacrifice fly from Andy Atwood, and a double to left field from Roman Garcia plates Kyle Novak. Just one run on the board from the Grey Wolves. It came in the top of the first, a 1-run bomb from Jack Johnson of the left field wall. Ryan Smith will take a moment before stepping in. He and the home plate umpire, Randy Canoes, are having a quick talk. Yeah, first pitch slider high and inside. Ball one on Smith. One for 2 today. And 1 for a hit round to second base and ended the first. As this one is missed bad on the outside. Rolls all the way to the backstop before bouncing back to Taylor. 2-0 the count. Taylor tried to go for that one, but by the time he realized that was way outside his range, he couldn't get there. It's a 2-0 count. The pitch from, and that'll be up high. Ball 3. Fastball from Burkholder. And that will be ball 4. Pitch walk to start off the top of the 6th. Always like to get your lead on board, especially when there's a guy like Smith with a lot of speed. That'll bring up Drew Curtis, the left fielder. 1 for 2 today, although his first hit at bat to lead off the second is really iffy as to whether or not a hit or an error could have gone either way, and he gets the benefit of the doubt on that one. And it's a hit, and I'm sure he won't mind that at all. As the throw over to first base has Smith diving in for safely. He's about 2 steps off the bag. Garcia covering the bag. Double play depth up the middle for Corvallis. Another throw over. Attack applied not in time. Attendance here in Corvallis, 1,990. The official attendance here. And it's a pretty good crowd. And coming off of a series at Bend, a very interactive crowd as well. A big following out in Central Oregon. Pitch out for the first pitch of the at-bat. Smith wasn't going. Ball 1. He takes his lead at first base as Curtis at the plate. Sees a fastball outside. 2-0 the count. That's 6 straight balls now, although one of them intentional on the pitch out. Nonetheless, it's a 2-0 count for Drew Curtis. Works from the back end of the right-handed batter's box, and fastball low and away. 3-0 the count, and not the way you want to start off an inning after which your bats gave you the lead, threatening to put 2 base runners aboard, rather. And as the Grey Wolves had great success turning free base runners into runs in the top of the first yesterday, a 6-run top of the first, as we talked about in the pregame show. And unfortunately, Gresham ended up dropping that game 10-9. A heartbreaker. The 3-0. Called strike 1, just grabbing part of the plate. After that conference on the mound between Taylor and Burkholder, immediate dividends paid. Another throw over to first base, bounced in, nice pick by Garcia, and he still applies the tag. A good glove for Roman Garcia. The junior from San Diego. And slider down low, ball 4, back-to-back walks to start off the top of the 6th for the Gray Wolves. They need to either continuing having to good play discipline or take advantage with their bats, and it'll be up to Ben Clanky to decide which one he's going to have to utilize. If Burkholder starts putting in the strike zone, you got to start swinging. However, if he continues to miss, just keep that bat back, and he's going to have to talk with Coach Barkas about this at-bat as Coach Pena discusses things with Drew Curtis at first base. Ryan Smith having a nice chat with Andy Atwood, the shortstop for Corvallis. The first baseman, Garcia, will now play in on the grass against Clanky. Ball behind the back of Burkholder, brings it into his glove at the chest, looks back at second base, and will motion towards second base, stepping off. Back in quickly is Smith. We've already seen one guy picked off at second base. That was Josh Adams with Bishop on the mound. It was a big moment. You had 2 runners on, 1 out. Squaring up to bunt is Clanky down the third base side, going to first base, and in time with the throw is Burkholder. A sacrifice bunt laid down by Clanky, puts 2 runners in scoring position for the designated hitter, Ty Wyatt. Wyatt 0 for 2 today, a swinging bunt and a strikeout. A big opportunity here for Gresham to tie the game, possibly retake the lead. Smith and Curtis, both guys with good speed. In scoring position, a 2-1 lead for Corvallis. The first pitch of the at-bat, and it's a off-speed pitch. Wyatt tries to slow down his bat, and he comes up empty on the swing. 0-1 the count as he dropped down to one knee trying to get anything, but comes up empty. 0-1 the count, 1 out. 2 runners in scoring position for Gresham here. Game 1 of the 3-game series against the Knights. As this one is a hard grounder to third base. They're going to go to the plate, and caught in a rundown now is Smith, and now 2 runners on the base. And it will be Drew Curtis called out as both runners were on the base. So Wyatt is aboard on the fielder's choice. The 5-2-5 unassisted to retire Drew Curtis for out number 2. And that'll bring up Will Matheson. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Matheson 0 for 1 today, a strikeout looking after his first plate appearance, a walk. Fastball misses off the outside edge. Ball 1. Loads up behind the right shoulder. White batting gloves. And pitch number 2 down low, trying to get him to chase. He stays off. 2-0 the count. Matheson has been bumping around the batting order. It's 7th in game 1 against Ben, as this one is high into the air, foul down the right side. That'll take a big bounce off of an Oregon State Beavers tent set up. Good place for a Beavers tent, I imagine. Lots of OSU caps being sported here. It's a 2-1 count. 2 outs, 2 on. And a 2-1 lead for Corvallis over Gresham. And the double pump from third to first for Burkholder. Ryan Smith at third base. Ty Wyatt at first base after he hit into the fielder's choice. And Drew Curtis and Ryan Smith both aboard as the 2-1 is up the middle and into the glove of Atwood on one hop. He goes to first base in time. A tough play up the middle as it took a hard hop right at the end, but he stuck with it and made the play. And once again, the Gray Wolves come up empty. They have now stranded 8 runners aboard as we go to the bottom of the 6th. It'll be the 5, 6, 7 hitters due up. Michael Ferris, Andrew Reichenbach, and Matt Kelly. A 2-1 lead for Corvallis over Gresham. You're listening to Grey Wolves Live.
Pack the park at Osland Field. The Grey Wolves are hosting the Bend Elks from Friday, August 5th through Sunday, August 7th. Fans can get $5 general admission tickets or $7 reserved seats all series long for the last West Coast League regular season series of the year. Just send an email to jerry@greshamgraywolves.com to receive your Pack the Park voucher to bring to the Osland Field gate. For more details, visit greshamgraywolves.com.
Follow your Gresham Grey Wolves on social media. The Grey Wolves are active on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Gresham G Wolves. Follow your favorite West Coast League baseball team at home, on the road, and in the community. Behind-the-scenes access, photos from the ballpark, video recaps, and more, all at your fingertips. That's at Gresham G Wolves on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Welcome back to Corvallis. I'm Nick Winstead. Going to the bottom of the 6th. The Knights on top of the Grey Wolves, 2-1. Heidemann first pitch fastball inside, ball 1 on Michael Ferris. Ferris 0 for 2 today, a strikeout and a line out. Both times leading off even numbered innings, the 2nd, the 4th, and now he comes up in the 6th as this one is popped high into the air into shallow right field. Perrin working out underneath it. Adams calls him off. He comes in and makes the play for out number 1 as Ferris is retired yet again for out number 1. That'll bring up Andrew Reichenbach. Reichenbach 1 for 2, a line drive through the right side, and then a ground out to Perrin at second base. He hits from the left side. Came into today hitting .282. Slightly open stance. Squares up to bunt, pops it over towards his dugout on the third base side, right into the net. Strike 1. That's the second time we've seen a poorly executed bunt, albeit not the same result as Emilio Alcantar's poorly executed bunt, as that one was caught by Clanky for the first out in the 5th. This one is a big chopper foul first base side. Strike 2, a pair of fouls for a pair of strikes. He takes a look at his third base coach for adjusting his belt and stepping back in. Heidemann begins his motion, the 0-2 pitch fastball. Soft drive into right field. Adams on the run, makes the play. Out number 2. As Adams got a good jump on that one, as it wasn't particularly hard hit, but it ended up cutting towards the gap, and so Adams had to get there fast, and he was able to. That brings up Matt Kelly. Kelly 0 for 1 today. He drew a full count walk in the 2nd before flying out to Adams to end the 4th. It was a 1-2-3 4th. And the first pitch from Heidemann drops in, strike 1. An 0-1 count on Matt Kelly. It's a 2-1 lead for Corvallis over Gresham. As this one is rolled foul, third base side, strike 2. Gresham game and a half back from Yakima Valley in the South standings. The Corvallis Knights in third place, 3.5 games back, but they've already secured their playoff spot, winning the first half. The 0-2 pitch swung on and missed. 3-pitch, see you later. And that will be another 1-2-3 inning as we go to the top of the 7th. Evan will be back for the final third. Thanks so much for allowing me here to give you the middle innings as we go to a break. It's a 2-1 lead for Corvallis over Gresham. You're listening to Grey Wolves Live.
Ba-da-dum, da-da-dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum ba dum bum bum bum.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
And so now it'll be the right-hander Lewis Crow onto the mound for the Corvallis Knights. Evan Giddings, along with you, I'll be taking you through the last 3 innings of this ball game, or possibly more, at least the last 3 of regulation here in the first game of a 3-game series between your Gresham Grey Wolves and the Corvallis Knights. Currently the score 2-1 in favor of Corvallis, with Curtis Perrin stepping to the plate, and like I mentioned, the new right-hander on the bump for Corvallis in the form of Lewis Crow. Now he's making his 4th appearance, I believe, has already pitched 3 innings so far this season, or rather 3rd appearance. In fact, his very first one came against Gresham itself, and maybe the reason that Brooke Knight going to the bullpen early in this game with his starter Cameron Bishop only mustering 4, choosing to use a couple of right-handers in Chris Burkholder, who just finished his 2 innings of work, shutout innings, and now Crow choosing to use 2 right-handers that are familiar with the offense of the Gresham Grey Wolves. And so the first pitch on the way from Crow, fastball up and outside. The appeal down to the field umpire there, Jim Courtney, and no, he did not go around on the check swing. So Curtis Perrin up in the count here, 1-0. To begin the 7th inning is the second pitch now on the way, a hard fastball low and in, but can't quite catch the corner here, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Now Perrin so far this evening, 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts, one of each kind, swinging and looking. As Crow in the windup, a high leg kick and a fire. Fastball popped up over on the left side, but going to get in out of play there. Actually going to get out of Goss Stadium, in fact. So maybe a free souvenir down there on the concourse. Nonetheless, strike 1 here. And a pretty packed house, in fact. The attendance upwards of around 2,000. 1,990 to be exact. On a Tuesday night, a very good crowd here in Corvallis. Another 2-1 pitch on the way. Fastball gets out of the way of that one as Perrin will lean back, and it's 3-1. Crow from Buena Park, California. In fact, going to be an incoming freshman at the University of San Diego. Is now the 3-1 on the way. Fastball roped down the right field line, but hooking foul and out of play here. So a full count to Curtis Perrin. And so, like I mentioned, going to be an incoming freshman at the University of San Diego. In fact, in this year's draft, was a 16th round selection by the Milwaukee Brewers. So congratulations to Lewis Crow, but I believe will be attending college. Now pulls the string with a changeup, swung on and missed by Curtis Perrin. A beautiful off-speed pitch there by Lewis Crow, and that's the hat trick for the Gresham second baseman. Struck out 3 times tonight as he's currently 0 for 4 and just has really struggled at the plate as of late. Curtis Perrin, at least so far of the last week, just a .250 average, has already struck out 3 times in those 5 games, and now struck out 3 times here tonight, as that'll give way now to Jack Johnson. So the righty-on-righty matchup. Kicking a fire, big curveball over the inside part of the plate. And can't quite bend enough, though, and it's 1-0. So Johnson, so far, 1 for 3 tonight, that home run, and that has represented the only run for Gresham so far in this ballgame, as he now takes a hack. Hard ground ball, but right to the second baseman, Kelly. On the 2-hop, will pick it up and go on to first base in time, and there's quickly 2 away here to begin the 7th. Crow able to utilize a fastball changeup combination. A very good one, in fact. Now, the fact that he was drafted in the 16th round out of high school should speak for itself, but at least from looking at his stuff, I mean, he features a fastball probably upwards of 90 miles an hour, if not more, and a good changeup. We saw him strike Perrin out swinging as now he pulls the string on Zickafoos with an off-speed pitch waved at, as Zickafoos now down to the count 0-1. He struck out twice tonight as well. Both victims to Cameron Bishop, the left-handed starter for Corvallis, as he now lofts a low line drive into right center field, sinking, and that's going to get down for a base hit. Was just over the head of the second baseman, Matt Kelly, and just in front of Cody Hawken, who was coming in hard. So Connor Zickafoos was able to collect his first base knock of the night, and he has now reached base twice. Was able to get on base back in the fifth when he was hit by a pitch, but unfortunately, the man now coming to the plate, Josh Adams, hit into a double play to retire the side in that frame. So now hopefully Adams can get something going here, or at least trying to extend this inning with 2 outs and a runner on first. He's reached twice in addition to that double play, so currently just 0 for 1, as in both of those first 2 plate appearances was able to draw walks, as he now takes a first pitch fastball at the knees, called strike 1. Made it up to second base in the third in what could have been the greatest opportunity for Gresham to score. I mean, they have stranded so far 8 runners tonight, about 4 of which, so half in scoring position, is now this breaking ball just a bit low here. So gloved off the turf by Taylor, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. However, Adams, after reaching second base, after a Ryan Smith single, there was 1 out, and unfortunately was picked off at second base. And the very next pitch, Drew Curtis, who was up, ended up striking out swinging. Is now Zach Taylor, out for a mound visit with his pitcher. Just a couple of quick words, though, as he's now back behind home plate. Or we'll head back there. Josh Adams, the left-hander, will prepare to step in. So Crow, young, plenty of good stuff. Also a hard breaking ball. We've seen that a couple times, but pulls the string again with a changeup on the outside corner, and with that arm speed so deceptive as he gets the second strike. 1-2 now to Josh Adams. He throws that hard fastball, something you have to account for, but with the same arm speed and the off-speed pitch, takes about 10 miles an hour off that changeup, something that's going to be difficult to adjust to for any hitter. Nevertheless, an accomplished one like Josh Adams. So we'll have to work behind here. 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball blew it by him. A challenge fastball right down the heart of the plate. And Lewis Crow able to collect a couple of strikeouts, as Gresham can only muster 1 hit against him here in the top of the 7th. So we'll head to the bottom half of the frame with Cody Hawken, Emilio Alcantar, and Kyle Nobach coming up when we return here on Gresham Gray Wolves Baseball Live. It's Corvallis 2 and Gresham 1.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is at home of Gresham Gray Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
If you are looking for an award-winning institution of higher education that is touching lives in many ways, look no further than Mount Hood Community College. For 50 years, MHCC has been an economic engine that brings hundreds of millions of dollars into our community, while also providing great educational services to area residents. No matter what you're interested in, MHCC has a place for you. To learn more, visit our website at mhcc.edu. Mount Hood Community College, transforming lives, building communities.
It's time to gear up. Visit the Gray Wolves team store during your next visit to Osland Field. Hats, hoodies, and shirts in different styles, colors, and logos to show your support of Gresham's team. We have a huge selection of Gray Wolves gear available online as well. Just visit GreshamGrayWolves.com to pick up your favorite gear and wear it to the next Gray Wolves game at Osland Field. That's the team store at GreshamGrayWolves.com. Gear up!
And so now Spud Hydeman, the right-hander, back out on the mound for his 7th inning of work. In the home half of the 7th inning here is Corvallis, and the leadoff hitter Cody Hawken will take ball 1, a fastball too far inside. So Evan Giddings here bringing you Gresham Gray Wolves baseball in the first game of a 3-game series here in Corvallis. As this one is laced just over the shortstop's head. Jack Johnson leaping, cannot get to it. That one will roll all the way to the left center field wall. Turning at second, Hawkins going to try for 3. The relay throw coming in, and it is not in time. In with a head-first slide, and a leadoff triple here to begin the home half of the 7th inning for the Knights. That one was well struck off the bat of Cody Hawken, wasting nearly no time on the second pitch of the inning from Spud Heidemann and able to lace a triple. Like I mentioned, Jack Johnson, a 6'4" shortstop, or maybe giving him a couple inches, about 6'2". However, a high leaping try could not get to it just beyond the outstretched tips of the glove on the left hand. And so now with the runner on third and nobody out, they'll bring the infield in for Emilio Alcantar, who takes the fastball outside here for ball one. Alcantar so far 0 for 2, although probably a key play for Corvallis could have resulted in a couple of more runs as he unfortunately botched a sacrifice bunt attempt, popped it up to the catcher. Although Corvallis still was able to take 2 runs. And now a squeeze attempt, but this one is fouled off. Back off the screen, fortunately for Corvallis, because Klinke was on the hop. And I really believe that shows the kind of confidence that Brooke Knight has in Emilio Alcantar, and just in general, any member of his order, 1 through 9, anyone can be called upon at any time to lay down a bunt, try and hit and run, basically just be called upon to try and execute for this ball club that really hangs its hat on being able to manufacture runs and not just put them across with any type of gaudy offensive numbers. However, nonetheless, that's a first strike as the 1-1 on the way. Now laced down the left field line, hooking though, and it will be just foul by just a couple of feet. Emilio Alcantar misses extra bases, and the Knights miss a run up on the board as Hawken could have walked home on that play. So nonetheless, we'll be down in the count here, 1-2, as the Knights currently hold a 2-1 lead over the Gresham Grey Wolves. 4 hits apiece, on each side. Although Corvallis has committed 1 error, none for Gresham. Heidemann looking for a strikeout in this situation. Infield drawn in. Perrin towards the right side as the pitch on the way. Fastball just off the edge there. A nice frame by Klinke, but couldn't get the calls. That'll even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Defensively, Gresham also bringing the outfield in a little bit and shading more towards the opposite side of the left-hander Alcantar. So Curtis with a couple of steps towards the left field line. Smith shading towards left center. Now Heidemann set. The 2-2 on the way. Change up low in the dirt, and Alcantar doesn't bite as Klinke is able to keep it in front here. So the count will run full. Now, although you surely want to go for a strikeout here in this situation with the opportunity to get a free out and not allow that runner to move up 90 feet, which would result in a run, you also got to think about the fact that with a runner on third, there's an open base at first, and so don't necessarily want to be too fine with Alcantar, but also definitely don't want to give in. We'll see what Heidemann chooses to go to here. Has been in the zone all night. Klinke sets up outside, and the pitch. Ground ball past the diving Perrin into right field. That's going to get a run home. And so Alcantar is able to get the job done. Back-to-back hits, a triple, and now a single result in the third run of the ball game coming across for Corvallis. Now hold a 2-run advantage at 3-1. So Alcantar clutching up right there. Hadn't been able to do so in his last at-bat, unable to execute. And you could even argue that on the squeeze attempt, he was unable to get that one down too. However, is still able to work the full count and get the third run of the ball game home for Corvallis. So now that'll bring the top of the order and the very dangerous Kyle Nobach to the plate. Of course, followed by Atwood, and that dynamic duo has done so much damage against Gresham throughout the summer season. As now the runner on the move, hit and run as this one is laced down the third baseline, but foul off the bat of Nobach, and it's 0-1. Nobach had a screamer himself back in the 5th inning as he doubled a one-hopper off the left center field wall, off the old Spaghetti Factory sign out there in left center, and a very impressive blast. It was almost nearly on the fly, and I thought that one actually had a chance right off the bat. Certainly found good one, found barrel. Kyle Nobach instead had to settle for a double, ended up coming around to score. So now Heidemann still in the stretch, pickoff attempt over to first base, no tag there from Matheson. And Alcantar, a guy that had seen a lot of action early on in the season, but certainly struggled, I know, in that Gresham series, and I believe in the second half has struggled offensively as well. So in the bottom of the order now is the 0-1 on the way. Slider front door this time. Gets the call there, and it's quickly 0-2. Alcantara actually on the season with 17 stolen bases, so plenty of speed, and likely the reason he was featured at the top of the order, especially to begin the season. It was a part of an 18-9 first-half ball club. Now trying to help Corvallis get back and move up in the standings at 11-10 is another pickoff attempt. Not in time, though. Alcantara back with a head-first slide. 11-10 is Corvallis. 13-8 are your Gresham Grey Wolves. Currently a game and a half back at the Yakima Valley Pippins. Going to take a look around the West Coast League in just a moment. Now pickoff attempt. They got him in a rundown. Matheson's going to hold it. Now throw. And it'll come back to Spud Heidemann covering it first. He's going to have to hold there, and Johnson's going to have to now run him back as he throws it away. Adams was trying to cover first base, and this one kicks away. Clanky able to get back to it, and we'll see what the official call is. Surely would have been an interesting play to try and call. And is officially just ruled a stolen base. That's what I thought. But just so much confusion on one play there from the Gresham defense. Heidemann had him picked off. Then Alcantara playing the pickle well, as now Ian Sanderson, the pitching coach, will come out. So I'll try and recap that play for you right there. It was a pickoff attempt to the first baseman, Will Matheson. And generally in rundowns, especially with a runner towards second base, you want to close on him and force him to commit one way or the other. Now Matheson didn't really do that, as he kind of just got the ball and immediately flipped it to the shortstop, Jack Johnson. And luckily, Heidemann was covering first base. He hustled over there because there was no one else there. Matheson didn't go to recover the bag, did not follow his throw either, as Johnson then covered the runner back to first base. Heidemann got the ball, and again, a couple of quick throws, not forcing Alcantara to commit one way or the other. Had him caught in no man's land, but was able to wiggle his way out of it. And of course, after Heidemann threw the ball to Perrin at second base, who was then covering, Josh Adams tried to come in from right field to cover at first base, but when he threw the ball, no one was there. So that allowed Alcantara to get his 18th stolen base of the season. And now bring Andy Atwood to the plate, whose first pitch swinging, laces one into center field, but right at Ryan Smith. He'll take a couple of steps back and play this one in. Alcantara very fast, able to tag up and get to third base. But nonetheless, the second out of the inning there off the bat of Andy Atwood. Kyle Nobach, he was still up on that play. So Atwood is down his second line out to the center fielder, Smith, in this ball game. Currently now 1 for 4. As that will bring Atwood to the plate. So the 0-2 pitch there, able to get him out front. The first out of this inning is Hawken. That play confused the heck out of me, going into multiple facets. As now he's first pitch swinging, ground ball to the shortstop, Jack Johnson. They're playing in, they're going to go home, and now they got him in another rundown. Let's see if he can wiggle his way out of this one. Throw to Zikafus at third base, now coming home to Heidemann, who will apply the tag. And finally, Alcantara not able to have lightning strike twice, heading home. And good thing he was not able to swipe that base, or that would have resulted in another run for the Knights. But fortunately, the Grey Wolves able to recover, not make the same mistake twice, and get the speedy Alcantara in the rundown for the second out of this inning. So with the ground ball, it'll be 6-2-5-1, I believe, is the put out for Alcantara. Atwood does go up to second base on the fielder's choice. And so now Atwood 0 for 2 tonight, also with a walk and a sacrifice fly. That will give way now to the first baseman, Roman Garcia. He actually had an RBI double with 2 outs in a similar situation back in the 5th. And Heidemann will look to prevent that right here as he fires a fastball, places it on the outside edge beautifully here, 0-1. So a couple of interesting plays here in this inning, all on the base paths and all revolving around Emilio Alcantara. Certainly a shifty fella, and able to wreak havoc in multiple ways. Fortunately for the Gresham Grey Wolves, as now this one swung on and missed a bender on the outside edge. Fortunately for the Grey Wolves, after allowing him to reach second, did not allow him to come across to score. Otherwise, that would have surely been a complete at-bat, as well as base running display by Alcantara, already with an RBI single and a full count, as well as that stolen base earlier. So able to prevent that as the 0-2 on the way. Slider in the dirt, but Garcia doesn't pull the trigger. Ball one. Garcia so far 1 for 2. Mentioned the RBI double in the fifth. That was a part of a pair of doubles by the Knights that resulted in 2 runs. Hawken, who led off this inning as well, led off that fifth, was hit by a pitch, came around to score on the sacrifice fly from Andy Atwood. However, Kyle Nobach and Roman Garcia both doubled to bring in the extra run as this one is swung on and missed. Curveball in the outside corner, and Heidemann gets him to end the inning. So Roman Garcia goes down, and that's the third strikeout of the ball game for Spud Heidemann as he exits the seventh with 3 runs on his resume. As Corvallis adds another one, Hawken with the leadoff triple comes in on the single by Alcantar. As now we'll go to the 8th inning here at Goss Stadium. The Grey Wolves will be coming up after this break here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live. It's now Corvallis 3 and Gresham 1.
Try to double play with your Gresham Grey Wolves by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner, contact the Grey Wolves at 503-428-5248. Again, that's 503-428-5248. Your partnership with the Grey Wolves will be a howl of a good time.
Pack the park at Osland Field. The Grey Wolves are hosting the Bend Elks from Friday, August 5th through Sunday, August 7th. Fans can get $5 general admission tickets or $7 reserved seats all series long for the last West Coast League regular season series of the year. Just send an email to jerry@greshamgraywolves.com to receive your Pack the Park voucher to bring to the Osland Field gate. For more details, visit greshamgraywolves.com.
Follow your Gresham Grey Wolves on social media. The Grey Wolves are active on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Gresham G Wolves. Follow your favorite West Coast League baseball team at home, on the road, and in the community. Behind-the-scenes access, photos from the ballpark, video recaps, and more, all at your fingertips. That's at Gresham G Wolves on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Bum ba da dum da da dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception.
And so now as we return here to action here at Goss Stadium on Coleman Field on the campus of Oregon State University, the Corvallis Knights and the Gresham Grey Wolves. As currently Gresham with Ryan Smith coming to the plate, he'll be facing the right-hander Lewis Crow. First pitch on the way to him is a fastball up and in. Had to bend out of the way of that one, and it's 1-0. In this ball game so far, 3-1. Corvallis holds the advantage. They've played 2 in the 5th, played 1 here in the 7th. And Gresham only with 1 run, coming on a solo home run all the way back in the first inning, as Smith will now take ball 2, a breaking ball outside here. Off the bat of Jack Johnson, the very first inning, the second batter of the ball game. As Smith will now take a fastball right through the heart of the plate here, 2 balls and 1 strike. So far this evening, the Gresham center fielder is 1 for 2. And grounded out to second base in the first, singled in the third, and walked back in the 6th inning as the 2-1 on the way. Fastball on the dirt. Called ball 3. And so Smith, at least playing out there in center field, definitely looks like he has his legs on. A good sign. However, the arm strength definitely is not there and was on full display in last inning. As now the 3-1 roped down the left field line, but hooking foul. And well foul now off of a Beaver attempt down there in what looked like general admission seating down the bleacher area. So nonetheless, the count will run full. And what I mean by that in the last inning is when I believe it was Kyle Nobach, he laced one to center field, and with Emilio Alcantar on second base, was able to easily tag up from first, as now he'll take ball 4, work himself a leadoff walk here for Gresham. So a couple of base on balls here from Ryan Smith tonight. However, so far, Gresham hasn't been able to take advantage of any of their leadoff base runners. Whether it be in the 6th inning when Smith led off, eventually got to third, but that's as far as he got. As Gresham with runners at the corners and 1 out couldn't make anything happen, as now Drew Curtis will step in from the right side. However, as this one, a changeup just a bit in here, 1-0. At least coming up, squaring up, because Ryan Smith has an absolute cannon out in center field. We've seen him throw out a couple of base runners so far this season. And in fact, as of last week, as of entering the Kitsap series, so about 5 games ago, Ryan Smith was actually leading the WCL in runs created. Is now this one a high fly ball into center field, playable there for Nobach. Takes a couple of steps in to his left and will make the catch there for the first out of the 8th inning. And so not able to just get it done offensively, but defensively, I mean, we've seen him cover so much ground this summer, and it's just a shame that the shoulder that he's been nursing over the last about week and a half or so has held him back in a couple of situations so far here tonight, and definitely, I'm sure up in Bend, has limited him. In fact, in a couple of games that I've called so far this year, especially recently, he hasn't actually been in center field. Is now a check swing pop-up foul here back and beyond our heads to Ben Clanky, the batter, has the count 0-1. And I think it just speaks to how good of a ball player Ryan Smith is overall. Certainly the 5 tools, but without one of them, very glaring. As he'll take his lead from first, and Clanky now in the 0-1 count. Runner on the move, got a great jump, throw down to second base, and it's not in time. A foot first slide there from Ryan Smith has it easily for the stolen base. The first one of the night for this Gresham offense, and the 12th for Ryan Smith. Now second on the ball club, just behind Jeff Mitchell Jr. at 13, so definitely has a chance to surpass him by season end, as unfortunately for Gresham, Mitchell Jr.'s season has come to an end, had to dip out a little early, had some prior family engagements that, in fact, we got word is now Zach Taylor will head out to the mound, a quick chat with his pitcher. We got word that Jeff Mitchell Jr. had actually made these plans with his family before the season even started, so Justin Barkis and the rest of the Grey Wolves staff knew that they would be without him for the last 2 series of the season. Now, hopefully, as Taylor now back in the squat, Crow in the windup, or rather the stretch, excuse me. And the 1-1 on the way to Clanky is a fastball low here, 2 balls, 1 strike. We're hoping that Jeff Mitchell Jr. could possibly come back for the playoffs, and that is an option that remains open. It's not like he was hurt or anything, was nursing any type of minor injury that forced him to go back. Wasn't because of summer school or any type of university requirement. Is now the 2-1 on the way. Another fastball low here, 3 balls and 1 strike to Clanky. So that's something that is an outside option. And certainly if the Grey Wolves are able to get to the playoffs, which at this point is very viable, although they're going to have to play their best baseball over these next 6 days in order to find themselves in the WCL postseason. 3-1 on the way and jumps out of the way of Clanky. So ball 4 there. Couple of walks here from the arm of Lewis Crow. Did give up a single in the last inning, but now 2 free bases handed out here in the 8th. And runners on second and first with 1 out for Ty Wyatt, who will come to the plate. It seems like tonight the designated hitter for Gresham, Wyatt, has really come to the plate in a couple of positions that would warrant RBIs. He's come to the plate. He came back in the second with runners on second and first. Unfortunately, was only able to ground out back to the pitcher. Is now the pitching coach for Corvallis, Connor Lambert, will come out and talk to his young right-hander. And then Wyatt came to the plate in the 4th inning. He ended up striking out, but during the at-bat, Clanky was able to move up to second base on a wild pitch, so had a runner in scoring position there, but unfortunately could not do anything with it. And then in the 6th inning, came to the plate with 1 out and runners on second and third, and hit into that fielder's choice where Drew Curtis was called out at third base. It was in baseball, they kind of call it a twin situation where Ty Wyatt hit a ground ball to third base, so the runner on third base at the time, Ryan Smith, couldn't go to home plate because he easily would have been thrown out. So it was caught in a rundown, and then Drew Curtis ended up going to second base. They ended up tagging him as the runner that reached the base second, I believe is the rule, is the one that's called out when there's 2 runners at the same base. So that was a situation that occurred back in the 6th. So hopefully Ty Wyatt will be able to come through. He's had 3 RBI opportunities, has not been able to cash in on any of them. And really that's been the story of the night for Gresham as a whole. So Lambert back in the dugout. Crow will tow it from the third base side of the rubber. Ty Wyatt, a right-handed batter. First pitch on the way to him is a fastball up and in like he was going to try and pull the trigger there, but was able to hold his swing there. 1 ball, no strikes. The Grey Wolves down 2, so the runner on first base in the form of Ben Klenke representing the tying run. And Wyatt, certainly with long ball power, would represent the go-ahead run. And the Grey Wolves no stranger to late inning antics. As now the pitch on the way, a breaking ball just missed off the plate outside. I thought that one might have got a good portion of home plate, but nonetheless ruled off it by the home plate umpire there, Randy Knutz, and it's 2-0. So Coast struggling a bit to get in the strike zone here, already with 2 walks, one in the leadoff form to Ryan Smith, as now he kicks and fires a 2-0 fastball up around the letters, called ball 3. And then a 3-1 base on balls handed out to Ben Klenke. So at least was around the strike zone to Smith, although I believe the center fielder was ahead in the count the entirety of the at-bat. Now Ty may not even have to take the bat off his shoulders. Here's a 3-0 pitch on the way, up and in, ball 4. So Crow, with an out thrown in there, has walked the bases loaded here in the top of the 8th inning. And now an opportunity for the Grey Wolves. They've already stranded the bases loaded once so far today. That came back in the second, left 3 on. Had runners in scoring position before Matheson walked with 1 out, and then Perrin and Jack Johnson were unable to get the job done. So now it'll be up to Will Matheson himself. But it appears that we're going to have a pitching change as Brooke Knight will go to his bullpen. He's coming out. He made the call. And so we'll make a quick break here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live. You don't want to go anywhere here. The base is loaded, 1 out, and we'll see who's coming out of the bullpen here for the Corvallis Knights. It's 3-1. I'm Evan Giddings. Don't go anywhere.
Challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
If you are looking for an award-winning institution of higher education that is touching lives in many ways, look no further than Mount Hood Community College. For 50 years, MHCC has been an economic engine that brings hundreds of millions of dollars into our community, while also providing great educational services to area residents. No matter what you're interested in, MHCC has a place for you. To learn more, visit our website at mhcc.edu. Mount Hood Community College, transforming lives, building communities.
It's time to gear up. Visit the Grey Wolves team store during your next visit to Osland Field. Hats, hoodies, and shirts in different styles, colors, and logos to show your support of Gresham's team. We have a huge selection of Grey Wolves gear available online as well. Just visit GreshamGreyWolves.com to pick up your favorite gear and wear it to the next Grey Wolves game at Osland Field. That's the team store at GreshamGreyWolves.com. Gear up!
And so now it'll be the left-hander Chris Kaplan on the bump for Corvallis. He'll be facing the right-hander Will Matheson, who will step in with the bases loaded and nobody out. Or rather, 1 out, as Drew Curtis flew out to center field here, the second batter of this inning. However, Kaplan, the left-hander from Hillsboro, Oregon, so kind of a local boy, 6'5", 220-pound left-hander, going to be a junior. Attended Western Nevada Community College last season. As a sophomore, appeared in 17 ball games, recorded 45 strikeouts and 1 save in 75 and 1/3 innings while pitching for the Wildcats. However, so far this season has been pretty effective out of the bullpen, making his 15th appearance, and now is the windup. Pitch on the way, fastball, and gets the call in the inside corner here to Matheson, down 0-1. Making his 15th appearance, like I said, a 1-2 record, however a bit deceptive, as he holds a 3.2 earned run average, 19 2/3 innings, 8 saves. So this has been the closer so far this season. A slow chopper right to the shortstop, Atwood. He'll go underhand to first, on to first base, a double play attempt there, but not in time as Will Matheson able to leg that one out as Ryan Smith comes across to score, and the Gresham Gray Wolves are within 1 here in the top of the 8th inning. So Smith comes across. He represents the second run of the ball game. They're down 3-2 now as Matheson reaches on the fielder's choice, is not awarded with the RBI. And so Ty Wyatt out at second base. And actually a nice takeout slide there, was able to get underneath the second baseman, Kelly, and prevent him from making a strong throw to first base. Now, not that it necessarily would have mattered with the speed of Matheson. 6'6" frame, able to, what seems takes like 5 steps down the first base line, and he's right there. However, now the tying run on third base as Kaplan has a lefty-on-lefty matchup here with Curtis Perrin. Leadoff man at second base, and forward Gresham takes a big swing and a miss there, and it's 0-1. As Perrin so far today 0 for 4 with 3 Ks. Last at bat I mentioned how he's looking to avoid the hat trick. Now we'll look to avoid the golden sombrero. Looking for any type of contact in this situation. Is the 0-1 on the way. Fastball on the inside corner, but ruled low there. 1-1. Now in the summer season, Kaplan, during those 19 2/3 innings, has struck out 20, only walked 9, and surrendered just 12 hits so far. As the 1-1 on the way, big Bender on the inside corner, called strike 2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Curtis Perrin. Actually, I believe Kaplan pitched against Gresham. That he did back on July 22nd. Is now the 1-2 on the way. Fouled back off the screen. Perrin just gets a piece of that one and stays alive here in a 1-2 count. Now, as for that outing back on the 22nd against Gresham, the Gray Wolves actually won that game 5-3, but Kaplan pitched 2 scoreless innings out of the bullpen. And I believe he ended that game, or I should say finished, as he was able to also collect 3 strikeouts while walking 2. Now the 1-2 again on the way to Perrin. Out in front, pops it up to the left side. On the infield, now drifting into foul territory is the third baseman, Ferris. He'll camp under it and make the catch to retire the side. So Gresham does strike for 1 as they draw within 1 here. However, leave the bases nearly loaded at the corners. They strand 2 more base runners as we'll head to the bottom of the 8th inning here at Goss Stadium. Zach Taylor, Michael Ferris, and Andrew Reichenbach when we return here on Gresham Gray Wolves Baseball Live. It's Corvallis 3 and Gresham 2.
Pack the park at Osland Field. The Gray Wolves are hosting the Bend Elks from Friday, August 5th through Sunday, August 7th. Fans can get $5 general admission tickets or $7 reserved seats all series long for the last West Coast League regular season series of the year. Just send an email to jerry@greshamgraywolves.com to receive your Pack the Park voucher to bring to the Osland Field gate. For more details, visit greshamgraywolves.com.
Follow your Gresham Gray Wolves on social media. The Gray Wolves are active on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Gresham G Wolves. Follow your favorite West Coast League baseball team at home, on the road, and in the community. Behind-the-scenes access, photos from the ballpark, video recaps, and more, all at your fingertips. That's at Gresham G Wolves on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
And so now we return to action here at Goss Stadium. In the bottom of the 8th inning, a 1-run ball game, 3-2 in favor of the Corvallis Knights, currently over your Gresham Gray Wolves in the first game of this series. It's the newest right-handed member of the bullpen staff for the Gresham Gray Wolves, Dakota Windell on the bump, replacing Spud Heidemann. So Heidemann's night is done as he has a quality start, goes 7 innings, 7 strong innings, I might add. Scatters 5 hits, allows 3 runs, all of them earned. So unfortunately for him, if the score stood as it is right now, 3-2, Heidemann would be tagged with just his second loss of the season. And all for naught, as he really had a quality outing so far tonight. And now we'll give way to the bullpen in Wendell, who would try and keep this score right here. Heidemann also with 4 strikeouts and 3 walks, as Wendell's making just his second appearance on the season, was called up from the GSCBL, the Golden State Collegiate Baseball League, where he played for the Klamath Fall Gems. Has made 1 appearance so far, had a scoreless inning back on July 26th against Kitsap, as he now bends a curveball too far outside here against the leadoff man, Zach Taylor, to 1-0. So a couple of righties and a lefty, and Taylor, Ferris, and the left-hander Reichenbach, as he now laces a fastball grounded on the left side past a couple of diving Grey Wolf infielders into left field. This is both Zickafoose and the shortstop Johnson, as this throw comes in, gets over the head of Perrin, but fortunately Matheson able to back that throw up and hand it off to the pitcher Wendell. So nonetheless, neither Johnson nor Zickafoose could get to it. Kind of a ground ball with eyes through the left side. And Taylor is on here to lead off the home half of the 8th. That's his first knock of the night, as he's now 1 for 4, and that will bring the third baseman for Corvallis, Michael Ferris, to the plate. He is currently 0 for 3. Struck out back in the second, hit a soft line drive to the shortstop Johnson, who was able to corral it back in the 4th, and then flew out to the right fielder Adams back in the 6th inning. So Ferris in the box, wearing some high stirrups, really one of the only look on his team, as Wendell fires a fastball, catches the outside edge here, 0-1. Wendell, 5'11", 185-pound right-hander from Boise, Idaho. Attended Yakima Community College, originally from the area as well of Yakima, as now fires a curveball, shows bunt. As this one gets in the dirt, runner goes on the move in the wild pitch, throw down to second base, and it skips into center field. Fortunately, center fielder Ryan Smith able to keep it in front of him and keep it to just that, as Zach Taylor able to advance on the wild pitch. It was one of those plays where it was a curveball bounce and was, I thought, originally blocked nicely by Clanky. However, skipped away just enough for the runner to take off from first, and it didn't seem like Clanky didn't see where the ball was at first, kind of hesitated, and as a result, Taylor, who runs well for a backstop, was able to get his additional 90 feet onto second base. So now another sacrifice bunt attempt. This one bunted back and foul. Looks like might have got a piece of the umpire that time. So nonetheless, 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Michael Ferris. The infielder from University of California, Riverside. So a teammate with the starting pitcher, the left-hander Cameron Bishop, who only ended up going 4 innings in this ball game. Only gave up 3 hits, but did walk 4 and struck out 7. A game high as this one in the dirt, gets away from Clanky and cannot come up with it, as Taylor is able to advance to third base on another wild pitch. Now, not to say that Wendell doesn't have command of his stuff, as at least coming in, the scouting report of him was that he did command all of his pitches very well. However, Clanky having trouble, probably because he hasn't caught Wendell that much, doesn't know how his breaking ball bounces, also coupled with the fact that turf does allow for a little more skip. And now the 2-2 on the way, swung on and missed, or tipped in the glove, doesn't matter. Nonetheless, he is down swinging as Michael Ferris for the first out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. A big pitch right there from Dakota Wendell. With the infield drawn in a strikeout situation, he gets his man. However, like I was saying, those 2 wild pitches could be attributed to a myriad of reasons, really, with Dakota Wendell, the new guy on the mound, having not thrown too often to Clanky. The majority of the bullpens are thrown to the backup catcher, Cairo. And so Cairo's probably got a good look at him, understands how his ball is going to bounce off the dirt, and kind of with more 12-6 action, more of an over-the-top curveball. Maybe Clanky misread it off the turf. Nonetheless, allowed the runner to get in scoring position. And now Andrew Reichenbach will step in. Actually, in fact, a pinch hitter now. It'll be Taylor Travis, number 3, will come to the plate, as this one is delivered low to Travis here, 0-1. Or 1-0, excuse me. And so Travis, we saw pinch hit in a couple of games during the previous series. That hasn't been hitting well that season, and at even 200. So possibly just above his weight, as now he fouls this one back off the low board there in foul territory, 1-1. a Springfield, Oregon native, 5'10", 180 pounds. Hits left, throws right, and attended Mount Hood Community College. That's why the name rings a bell. Of course, Mount Hood Community College, the home of your Gresham Grey Wolves up there in Gresham, Oregon. So the former Saint now a squeeze attempt, and this one is grounded right off the turf in front of Clanky. He'll pick it up. Runner coming home with a head first slide, and he is out at the plate. Ben Clanky able to alertly not only grab the ball that kind of bounced up right in front of him, could have fumbled with it, and a beautiful exchange not only between the ball in the air, able to snag it right out of mid-flight, but then also come back to the plate and apply the tag to a head first sliding Michael Ferris. And it was a good one, an outside slide to the first base part of the bag, but nonetheless Clanky was able to still apply the tag for the second out of the inning. So the runner does reach first, as now Matt Kelly will step in. The right-hander takes a strike in the outside corner here, 1-0. And so now an opportunity for Dakota Wendell to get out of the inning unscathed. Something you just don't see too often. Definitely going to have to circle that play should it come back to loom large, because that would have been a valuable insurance run. As a big swing and a miss there on a curveball down and in. And Kelly's down to the count here, 0-2. So Taylor out on the 2 unassisted putout after taking advantage of a couple of wild pitches the Knights cannot execute. We've seen them attempt a couple of squeeze plays already. This one not in their favor, obviously, is the 0-2 pitch. Runner on the move. This one low in the dirt and taken off the chest by Clanky. Going to be a straight stolen base there for Taylor Travis. Able to come off the bench and collect a stolen bag. That is his 9th of the season. And a total of 101 stolen bases coming into this game for Corvallis alone. That is atop the West Coast League by at least 10 swipe bags. A very impressive mark, as they have 3 members of the 14-plus stolen base club, now 15, as Nobach, as this one is fouled back off the screen there. Count remains 0-2. I should say Kyle Nobach, he stole a base. Now that's 15. Andy Atwood has 18. And Emilio Alcantara has only swiped a base tonight. That's number 18 for him as well, as he is tied atop the team lead. Tag the Taylor Travis stolen base as well, and I believe actually the catcher Zach Taylor had one as well. So 5 stolen bases tonight for the Corvallis Knights. As now a bluff pickoff attempt to second base, but nobody's home. The runner in safely. So now the second baseman Curtis Perrin will creep towards the bag, try and keep him a little closer. But the 1-2 pitch on the way to Kelly, and again defending the strike zone as he fouls this one back. Count remains now 1-2. And so a runner in scoring position, still an opportunity here for the Knights to get a run across, add an insurance run here for the top of the 9th inning. Could possibly be the last at-bat here for Gresham. So Dakota Wendell trying to keep it at just 1 run. In the stretch, high leg kick and a fire curveball. A tapper right off home plate, but will squirt foul. Clanky will pick it up there. So a good at-bat here by Kelly, not wanting to be the last man to go down. Kelly so far in this ball game 0 for 2. Walked in a full count in the second. Flew out to right field in the 4th. Struck out in the 6th. Is now Clanky delivering the sign. Wendell has it. Clanky set up on the outside. Pitch on the way. Curveball popped up, and it is going to get foul. The 4th foul ball of this at bat. As the 8th pitch of the AB is coming up right here. So Matt Kelly on the season is just batting .232, looking to avoid his 23rd strikeout of the season. Has managed to work 15 walks, which is good for 4th on the team, behind Atwood, Nobach, as well as Michael Ferris. However, contact is probably going to be his friend in this situation. As now a bluff pickoff attempt. Nobody's home again. It looked like he caught the runner on second there, Travis leaning. But of course, with 2 strikes and 2 outs, you want to have your defenders home and got to worry about the guy at the plate. It's now a quick pitch on the way. Fastball on the outside corner, and it is too far, ball 2. I thought Wendell might have actually got away with a balk right there. He came set very quickly, and now looking at him extremely closely is the field umpire, Jim Courtney. My guess is he would call that if he did it again. However, now comes set. A long breath at the top. Kicks and fires. This one fouled back off the screen again. That's the 5th foul ball of this at-bat. And pitch number 10 coming up. So Matt Kelly in his 57th at-bat of the season, possibly his toughest. And certainly the hardest out Dakota Wendell has had to get so far. Hopefully can turn it into an out as the 2-2 now on the way. Change up, pop up over on the left side, but is hooking again, out of play, foul. Matt Kelly refusing to go down, and it's a good sign that Wendell has been remaining in the strike zone. A lot of pitchers in these cases don't necessarily give in, but will kind of revert to one or the other as trying to pick the corners to get strike 3, or just lobbing up a creamsicle right in the middle of the plate for the batter to try and get himself out. So Wendell battling here, now has his sign. Pitch on the way, curveball, grounded at third baseline, foul. This one at least on the field and not in the stands, so not a free souvenir for somebody down on the left or right side, but maybe a little further down as Curtis will toss that one in the stands, so there's going to be a souvenir anyways. Nonetheless, that's the 7th foul ball of the at-bat. And in his first inning, the reliever for Corvallis, Lewis Crow, threw 12 pitches. And now the 12th pitch of the at-bat on the way here. Fastball laced into center field, oncoming Smith, and he will make the catch on the run. Ryan Smith able to take away a base hit and a run from Corvallis and end the side. So Dakota Wendell has to really work for that one. 12 pitches, but is able to get out of the inning and leave a runner in scoring position. So we'll head to the 9th inning here at Goss Stadium. It'll be 2-3-4, Jack Johnson, Connor Zickafus, and Josh Adams when we return here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live. The Grey Wolves trail 3-2.
It's a howling good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is at home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
If you are looking for an award-winning institution of higher education that is touching lives in many ways, look no further than Mount Hood Community College. For 50 years, MHCC has been an economic engine that brings hundreds of millions of dollars into our community, while also providing great educational services to area residents. No matter what you're interested in, MHCC has a place for you. To learn more, visit our website at mhcc.edu. Mount Hood Community College, transforming lives, building communities.
It's time to gear up. Visit the Grey Wolves team store during your next visit to Osland Field. Hats, hoodies, and shirts in different styles, colors, and logos to show your support of Gresham's team. We have a huge selection of Grey Wolves gear available online as well. Just visit GreshamGreyWolves.com to pick up your favorite gear and wear it to the next Grey Wolves game at Osland Field. That's the team store at GreshamGreyWolves.com. Gear up!
And so now it'll be the right-handed batter, Jack Johnson, who's currently in a 2-0 count here with the pitch on the way, misses outside. Chase Kaplan, the closer on the bump for Corvallis, came in the previous inning, was able to get Matheson and Perrin as now a swing and a miss through a changeup on the outside edge here. Johnson for the first strike of the at-bat. Last chance for Gresham here. 3 more outs. They got to put one across the board as they trail 3-2. And now another changeup from Kaplan, called on the outside corner. A borderline strike call, but nonetheless, Johnson is going to have to deal with it here as Randy Knutz has been pretty consistent all night. It's not Kaplan, left-hander from the windup, high kick and fire, fastball low and in there. That'll run the count full. Johnson currently 1 for 4. Homered in his first at-bat back in the first, and up until the top of the 8th inning was the only run put across by the Gresham Grey Wolves in this ballgame. It's now looking to hopefully be the tying run as he will swing and a miss on a fastball. Might have chased a ball 4 right there up the ladder, but nonetheless Chase Kaplan able to get his man. And the Grey Wolves now with only 2 outs to possibly extend this ball game here with Connor Zickafus coming to the plate. And so Kaplan looking for a 5-out save, kind of a rarity. Going for number 9 on the season is Zikafus will now take a fastball right through the heart of the plate here, 0-1. And Zikafus in the lefty-lefty matchup, currently 1 for 3, has reached twice tonight. Was hit by a pitch in the 5th inning, singled in the 7th, as now he chops a curveball back up the box. Backhand by the second baseman Kelly on the throw, on the run, and it's in time. A nice play there made by Max Kelly, and just like that, the Gresham Gray Wolves are down to their last out. A slow chopper up the middle, and I believe Kaplan got a piece of that off his glove. But nonetheless, a slow roller on the backhand, got the short hop too, did the second baseman Kelly, and a beautiful play, so fluid there from the second baseman. And Corvallis, who not only pitches well, but also hangs its hat on his defensive capabilities, showing off both here so far in the first 2 outs of this inning. And now Josh Adams will represent the last hope here for the Gresham Gray Wolves. First pitch on the way to him is a fastball outside. So 1-0 here to the Gresham right fielder. Currently has reached twice. He's 0 for 2, but a couple of walks. Had a base on balls in both the 3rd and the 1st innings. There's now the 1-0 on the way. Fastball, jam shot chopper right back to the pitcher Kaplan. He'll run it on over and now finally make the toss, and that's the ball game. The Gresham Gray Wolves fall in the first game of a 3-game series here to the Corvallis Knights, 3-2. After taking the lead early in the 1st inning off a home run, they allowed 3 runs through the middle frames. Try to fight back in the 8th by grabbing 1, but unfortunately cannot do the job here in the 9th inning. So the Gresham Gray Wolves fall to the Corvallis Knights, and we'll be right back with you here for the postgame alongside Nick Winstead's going to join. He was the middle 3 innings broadcaster, and I'm Evan Giddings. Stick with us here for the Gresham Gray Wolves postgame coming up next.
Try to double play with your Gresham Gray Wolves by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner, contact the Gray Wolves at 503-428-5248. Again, that's 503-428-5248. Your partnership with the Gray Wolves will be a howl of a good time.
Pack the park at Osland Field. The Gray Wolves are hosting the Bend Elks from Friday, August 5th through Sunday, August 7th. Fans can get $5 general admission tickets or $7 reserved seats all series long for the last West Coast League regular season series of the year. Just send an email to jerry@greshamgraywolves.com to receive your Pack the Park voucher to bring to the Osland Field gate. For more details, visit greshamgraywolves.com.
Welcome to the Gresham Gray Wolves postgame show. Presented by Active Family Chiropractic, Edward Jones, Gresham Ford, Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, the Gresham Police Officers Association, Lucky Pint, Metro East Web Academy, Northwest Accounting Partners, Olympic Gym, Riverview Community Bank, and State Farm. And now, here's your Gresham Gray Wolves post-game show.
Hello and welcome into the Gresham Gray Wolves post-game show. Just wrapped up an unfortunate 3-2 loss against the Corvallis Knights here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field on the campus of Oregon State University, the home of the Beavers, where the Gresham Gray Wolves unfortunately fell in the first game of a 3-game series. So we'll get you the quick wrap and then a couple of thoughts for myself along with my broadcast partner Nick Winstead for the postgame. Now, the Gray Wolves got the scoring going there in the top of the first. The second batter of the game on the 3rd pitch he saw, Jack Johnson, crushed a home run out to deep left field. That put Gresham up 1-0, and from then on it was kind of a pitcher's duel between the Gresham starter, Spud Heidemann, along with the left-handed starter for Corvallis, Cameron Bishop. And one could argue that that home run, that one pitch he made to Jack Johnson, was the only mistake he made all night. He's able to go 4 innings, scatter just 3 hits. So 2 others throughout the 4 innings besides the home run. Just allowed that 1 run. Did walk 4, however, but was able to make up outs. Then he gave way to his bullpen that kind of allowed the Corvallis Knights a bit of breathing room. Now, the Gresham Gray Wolves offense had some opportunities throughout this ball game, stranded a total of 10 base runners, and about half of those in scoring position. However, it was up to the Knights in the 5th inning, who were able to get 1 run off a leadoff hit by pitch from Cody Hawken, was able to get to third base on a 1-out double from Kyle Nobach, and then came in on the sacrifice fly from Andy Atwood. And then with 2 outs, Roman Garcia laced a double off the left field wall to give Corvallis a 2-1 lead at the time. And then fast forward to the 7th, where Corvallis put up their next run, and really the insurance run and the most important run of the ball game, as Cody Hawken led off with a triple. Emilio Alcantar did single through the right side, and that would be the winning run that came across there in the bottom of the 7th inning. Gresham did scrape across one more in the top of the 8th as Ryan Smith led off with a walk, was able to put himself in scoring position by stealing second base before eventually coming in on the Will Matheson fielder's choice. However, Gresham does fall 3-2, and Nick, this is kind of a ball game where Gresham had their opportunities early in the ball game. I'm sure if we talk to Barkis, and we will tomorrow, he'll tell us that those men left on base were really the tell of the tale, and you just got to look at those as missed opportunities that will hopefully be able to be capitalized on tomorrow.
Absolutely. Obviously, that's a telling stat, as you were saying, the men left on base. You have the opportunities, and there's a silver lining in that. The fact that you were able to get guys in scoring position to get them aboard against a team that we talked about is very good defensively and on the mound. To have those guys out there to have the opportunities is something that you try to use tomorrow and the next day. Of course, you have to capitalize on the opportunities, which they were unable to do. And as you mentioned, just one mistake from Cameron Bishop, a home run, and then a fielder's choice in the 8th, bringing in the 2 runs today for Gresham. Need to do better tomorrow, but if you can continue the formula of putting guys aboard, drawing 8 walks today, obviously a recipe for success more often than not.
And certainly a pitcher's duel all the way around. Bishop got some help from his bullpen. Chris Burkholder came in, provided 2 shutout innings along with a strikeout. Lewis Crow did give up that 1 run, but didn't prove enough, as Chris Kaplan, the closer for Corvallis, was able to come in and shut the door, collecting a 5-out save, his 9th of the season. However, on the other side, I think something that's really going to go kind of untalked about throughout this ballgame is the starting pitching performance of one Andrew Spud Heidemann, able to go 7 innings, scattering just 5 hits, and especially considering his last outing where he gave up a West Coast League season-high 13. You got to like the way that he bounced back and really competed all night long.
Absolutely. The only inning that they really hit him hard was that 5th. Back-to-back-to-back hard-hit balls to left field. The no-back ground rule double, the Atwood sacrifice fly, and the Garcia double off the wall. And other than that, he was just cruising through this game for the most part. And he let his defense do a lot of the work for him, had 4 strikeouts, but was just in a groove. And as you mentioned, that's such a great sign after bouncing back after a disappointing outing against Kitsap.
And so that'll do it all here in the first game of a 3-game series at Goss Stadium. I'm Evan Giddings alongside Nick Winstead. The Gresham Grey Wolves fall 3-2 here to the Corvallis Knights. Hopefully we'll be able to get back in the win column tomorrow night. Same time, 6:40. Pregame show starting around 6:25. We'll hope you'll be able to tune in, and that'll do it all here. I'm Evan Giddings along with my broadcast partner Nick Winstead, wishing you all a happy